So shout out to all our people up in the space. I see some of our usuals. Oh, Brother Moku, what's up? I see Tony. I see Black Majority State. To all my people over there that's going to be coming into YouTube, shout out to you guys as well too. This is the Newstoter podcast / Twitter X space. Tonight we're doing a part 2 of the broadcast from last night. Representative Ilhan Omar is blasting on social media for saying she is putting Somalia's interests first. This is the part 2. This is the part 2, guys. Last night we had a number of people that came up towards the end, and we couldn't get everybody in to speak like we wanted to. So we said, let's go ahead and have a part 2 so people can come up here and get their say in tonight. Guys, definitely go ahead and tweet this space out, tweet it out. We'll be starting up in a little bit. We're going to cover the points from last night. Hopefully we'll get some of our people in here from Somalia. We'll get some people in here from Somaliland, Kenya. We had a number of folks last night that was from the continent that was in. Of course, we had our usuals here in America that came in to give their say as well too. So shout out to everybody that's in this space right now on X. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube. If you're over there on YouTube, guys, make sure you click the notification bell because we know YouTube is not going to send out the notifications. Go ahead and like tonight's broadcast, and also go ahead and share tonight's broadcast and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the conversation. If you guys got something that you want to voice over there in YouTube land, please go ahead and voice as well too. I see we got Fahima up in here as well too. So shout out to you, Fahima. Shout out to you guys as well too. So we're going to be getting this thing rolling here in just a second. We're giving our people a few more minutes. Last night was a pretty interesting conversation. We heard a lot of different sides as well too. We heard people over there on the continent that felt that Ilhan Omar, her remarks were somewhat dangerous to the actual people over there and felt that she was trying to weaponize the U.S. government. We're going to be talking about that. We also had our people over here in America that felt that, hey, you are a congresswoman here in America, and first and foremost, your interests need to be concerning the American people, your constituents up there in Minnesota, as well as, the U.S. population. So we're going to be touching up on that. I'm going to touch up on Ron DeSantis, governor here in Florida. Ron DeSantis, he had quite a bit to say as well, too. Ron DeSantis says that she should be forced to resign, and she should be denaturalized and sent back overseas as well too. So shout out to my man Nightfall over there on YouTube as well too. Shout out to him as well. I see Diane is up in here as well too. Like I say, very interesting conversation last night. Very good conversation. We're gonna keep it respectful tonight. Let our people come up here and speak. We may not agree with people saying up here, but hey, it's not an echo chamber. People are going to have a difference of opinion. So definitely go ahead. Everybody that's in the space, I ask you guys, please to go ahead and share it. Share this space out, guys. And we definitely, like I said, we want to get on. We want to get a mix. We want to get our people coming in. And we want our usuals over here in America to go ahead and speak. And we want the people over in the diaspora to speak as well, too. Those on the continent, anybody that wants to come up here and speak, feel free to come up here and speak as well too. I'm going to touch up in just a second on this actual article from the New York Post. I put that up in the Jumbotron that Ron DeSantis was saying. Ron DeSantis was talking about what they need to do and this and that or whatever. So, like I say, that's made major news. Ilhan Omar's remarks about Somalia and the interest and everything else. It has made national news. There are a lot of people that are upset about it. There are a lot of people that are calling for her head as well too. Want to see her put down as well too. They felt that she went overboard. She hasn't backed away yet either. She's still standing 10 toes down on what she said. She's doubling down on what she said. She said her comments and everything else was taken out of context and it was spent. So, there's a lot of different issues going on as well, guys. I'm going to share, like I said, we're going to touch up on that. We're going to get it in. Like I said, I see a number. We got a few of our people. It looks like that's from the actual continent that's in the actual space. And I definitely want to hear what they have to say as well, too. My co-host is not up in the space right now, DJ. So, Fahima, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay in the space? Can you guys hear me? Okay, she's giving 100. Okay, because I want to go ahead and I want to touch up on this article, and then I want to get to the hands. I want to get to you guys. I just want to make sure that you guys sometimes, because I don't have the actual article on hand, I'm gonna have to actually go to the site and read it. So I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Fahima, real quick, you can let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and read this actual article. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Can you put me in the queue? Because I can't raise my hand, by the way. Yeah, but I can hear you.
Okay, I'll let you be the first speaker up. Okay. I got you. And Hafso, I'll get you to you as well too. We'll get to you. Like I say, I want to hear people on what they got to say. So let me go ahead and touch up on this article from the New York Post real quick, guys. Quick article. I want to touch up on it. Says Ron DeSantis wants squad member Ilhan Omar expelled, deported over Somali first speech. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said Tuesday that squad member Ilhan Omar should be kicked out of both Congress and the U.S. after a video emerged of the far-left Democrat giving a speech in which critics say she placed Somali interests above those of the U.S. Expelled from Congress, denaturalize, and deport, the former 2024 Republican presidential candidate wrote on X next to a clip of Omar's remark. The latest controversy involving the Minnesota lawmaker kicked off after Omar delivered a Somali language speech to a gathering of community leaders at a Minneapolis hotel Saturday night, during which she rallied against plans by Ethiopian government to enter a sea access deal with breakaway Republic of Somaliland. In a translated video of the remarks shared by DeSantis, Omar said the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. They must do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders. And that is how we will safeguard the interests of Somalia. The U.S. is a country where one of your daughters is in Congress to represent your interests, added Omar, referring to herself. For as long as I am in the U.S. Congress, Somalia will never be in danger. Its waters will not be stolen by Ethiopia or others. Sleep in comfort knowing I'm here to protect the interests of Somalia from the inside the U.S. system. Omar, 41, also ran against governments of Ethiopia and Kenya, accusing them of having stolen territory from their neighboring nation and saying, according to the translation, that we will liberate the occupied territories of Djibouti, Somaliland, and Kenya, Northeast Province, the latter of which has a large population of ethnic Somalis and Somali refugees. The Congresswoman has insisted her remarks were misrepresented and was condemned by Somaliland's deputy foreign minister, who accused her of ethno-racist rhetoric. It's not only slanted but completely off. But I wouldn't expect more from these propagationists. I pray for them and their sanity. Omar responded. Somalia and the diaspora are united in the effort that I stand in solidarity with them. No amount of harassment and lies will ever change that. In a different translation, which the Congresswoman shared, she was quoted as saying, "We are sisters and brothers supporting each other, people who know they are Somali and Muslims coming to each other's aid and aiding their brothers and sisters. The U.S. government will do what we ask it to do," she said. "We live in this country. We are taxpayers in this country." Omar also underscored that while she is in Congress, no one will take Somali's sea, and the U.S. will not back others to rob us. Somaliland declared independence from Somalia in 1991 as an East African country descendant of the Civil War. It has not been officially recognized by any United Nations member or state international organization. Omar, the first Somali American Congresswoman, was born in Mogadishu and immigrated to the U.S., becoming a citizen in 2000. She is one of two Muslim lawmakers in the House of Representatives. Omar's fellow Minnesotan House Majority Whip Tom Emmer said Monday that Omar should resign in disgrace over her appalling Somali first comments, which he called a slap in the face of Minnesotans. She was elected to serve in direct violation of her oath of office. In response to DeSantis, Omar chided Tuesday that the 45-year-old was moving from the 2024 failure and preparing for a 2028 failure. A rep for Omar did not immediately respond to a request for comment. All righty. Fahima, I know you want to go ahead, so let me go ahead and let you unmute your mic, and then so I'll get to you as well.
Greetings, brother. I'll be brief. First, I just allow me to make some few comments, and I hope a little later on I will also be able to get back. I wanted to say regarding last night, I don't know if you understood, I was saying that you were a lot more fair than some of the other folks who are out here on these platforms. And I understand that you were saying, making the generalization that everyone that doesn't quote Black American in this country are distinct. You said that.
Fahima, can you hear? You're gonna probably have to drop.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna probably have to drop down because your phone is breaking up. So let's get you to drop down and come right back up and see if that clears it up.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me just reposition myself. Is that a little?
It's still breaking up. I think if you drop down and come back up, it'll clear up.
Okie dokie. Let me just try this once again. Is that better?
It's better for right now, at least.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to be that long. I also wanted to point out that I'm from New York City. New York Post is a rag and it's trash, and I wouldn't even wrap mussels or shrimp or fish in it. I did have the opportunity to listen to what Congresswoman Ilhan Omar said, because fortunately in today's technology, you don't have what someone said. You can actually go and hear it. And so she said she was Somalian before she was Muslim. She didn't say I'm Somalian before I'm an American. She said I'm Somalian before I'm a Muslim. So she was putting her ethnicity over her religion. And many of the Zionists in this country, I'm not saying Jewish people, Zionists in Congress put their allegiance to Israel over their possibility here in the United States. More smoke for the Zionist than for someone who says, I put my ethnicity over my religion. And I'll end there.
Okay. So, and I agree with you on what the New York Post. We know the New York Post is heavily leaning right wing. So I'll make no apologies about that. I use sources from them and CNN, which is leaning heavily left wing as well too. But is there anything that you found about her speech that you found could be construed as offensive to the American population?
Well, again, I'm not going to pretend to know all the geopolitical dynamics about what's going on in Somalia, but I was listening to what she was saying, and the things that people were distorting, they continued to say that she was putting her interest, her Somalian roots over her interest. She said, I am Somali before I'm Muslim. That's what she said. It's very similar, and I don't even belabor the point. If you remember during the early 20th century when Mussolini invaded Ethiopia and members of the Tuskegee Airmen, against the wishes of the State Department, said, no, we're going to go and fight for our brothers and sisters because our allegiance to being Black is over other interests. So she said that she was Somalian before she was Muslim.
Okay, all right. Like I say, I know they came out with another recording later on. I listened to I didn't get a chance to listen to the other recording. I think I heard a few bits and pieces. Some of the stuff that she was saying to me, I can construe it as, hey, you know what? For a sitting congresswoman of the United States Congress to sit here and say about her interests and, looking out for Somalia the way she was, and I understand that's where she's from. I found that to be a little bit unnerving, to be honest. And I know what you're saying, but she said, in at least the actual video that we saw, she said, she talked about her interest and having interest for Somalia and being in Congress and, basically, being there to look out for Somalia's interests as well, too. So, that's what a lot of people are upset about. But I get what you're saying that, hey, I don't understand, and I don't live over there on the Horn of Africa either. So I don't understand the logistics and the relationship exactly with the East Africans over there. I'm sure they've been at it for years and years and years. So I'm not gonna act like I understand the actual situation going on over there as well too. And I'll be honest, the actual situation going over there, I have no dog in it. I have no dog in the fight. So I'm not really, my thing like this is when it comes to situations that's outside this country, I believe that these countries should actually handle their own beefs and their own gripes and stuff like that. But what was construed, a lot of people felt that she was trying to militarize the actual United States government to actually go over there and do something, which, she didn't come out flat out and say, you know what, we're going to get the United States government to go over there and do this and do that or whatever. But a lot of people felt she was implying that the United States government was going to come, the United States government is not going to allow them to do this and allow them to do that or whatever. And that.
Are you familiar with AFRICOM?
Somewhat, not a whole lot, but somewhat.
Well, AFRICOM is the military, U.S. military already stationed in Africa. So it's not an issue of making having a U.S. military. That's AFRICOM is military, United States military station in Africa, and they're involved in many of the conflicts that are going on over there. And we need to have smoke for sending money to Israel. You've got Congress people who are Zionists that are sending our money to Israel to kill people. And I think we should be more concerned about, and just in my view, we should be more concerned about our money going to someone like Netanyahu to kill people than someone saying I'm Somalian before I'm Muslim.
But yeah, but real quick, Fahima, that's not all she said though, and you're right. We should have issues with the United States backing a lot of these foreign governments. We should have an issue with them backing a lot of them, from Ukraine to Israel to whoever. We should have an issue with it because first and foremost, they need to worry about what's going on over here in this country. And like I said, I don't believe in policing the entire world. Let those countries deal with their own issues and stuff. But we know the United States will butt in, and we know the United States also has a vested interest in a lot of the things that goes on in these different countries and continents as well too. So I'm not about them, pumping billions of dollars into this side or that side, of picking winners and losers as well too. So let me just go ahead and say that. But it's not simply her just saying, let's just get to here. It's not simply her just saying that, hey, you know what, I'm a Somali first and I'm a Muslim second. She said a whole lot based off of that actual, even that article I just read to. That article I read was basically the actual, I did shorthand. Yes, it was basically everything that I read in that space on the first night as well too. So it's not simply just her saying, you know what, I'm a Somali first and this or that or whatever. So it's more than that. We have to be real about it. Now she said a lot more than that, based off of, and I know, and I don't know if the New York Times translated. I don't know whoever translated. I don't know if it was a right wing site that translated, or whoever translated it. It was a whole lot that was said, in that actual in that brief 3-minute video that they played and stuff like that. So it's simply not, if she just simply say I'm a Somali first and I'm a Muslim second, I don't think it would have drawn quite the eye. Yeah, you got a lot of these conservative rednecks over here would have said something anyways, but it was deeper than it was deeper than just that as well too.
Well, I'll check out the additional, because you said that more of the recordings have come out, and I will try to check out the additional recordings. And I like to listen to what the person actually said, juxtaposed to what someone said that they said. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna get to I believe it's Hafso and Mustafa. Hafso, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, hi everybody. I wanted to just say that I feel like people are like exaggerating. That's not what she really meant. She's not saying that she's going to use America to solve like Somalia crisis. And all she meant is like, you guys know that how Ethiopia was trying to take our land. All she said that I won't allow that. All she said is I won't allow that to happen. She didn't say that she's going to use America to do her what was it called? To help out what's going on over there. USA hates Somalia. They're the reason why our country is all fucked up right now.
Okay, sweetie, don't curse on here, okay? But go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Yeah, I feel like people are just exaggerating. So I feel like people should just move on from that and focus on the real issue that's going on. Like World War III might start. Because USA is starting conflicts with everybody. Now they're trying to go war with Iran. So focus on that instead of trying to like talk shit about somebody else.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you not to curse, Hafso. And Hafso, exactly where are you living at?
I live in USA.
Okay, you live in the United States, but you're saying the United States is starting all these conflicts and this and that, and the United States is doing this and that and everything else. But why would you come to the United States if the United States was as bad as you're saying it is?
So I would have stayed at my homeland, but USA and UK, they're the reason why my country is in civil war. They're the ones that started a fight over there. So go learn your history. Also, I
don't need you to educate me on U.S. history. No offense.
Aren't you African American?
Yeah, I'm a Black American, but I don't need you.
Are you standing up for USA? Didn't they slave your ass?
I'm going to.
Okay, hold on, Rella. Hold on, Rella. First off, you were colonized over there by Great Britain. Am I wrong? Secondly, you're sitting over here in the actual United States country, so you could always go back home and try to work on things yourself. You're sitting over here talking about how bad the United States is, yet you're living here, you're being fed here, you're receiving health care and everything else. So if it's that bad, if the situation is that terrible, you can always, pack up your stuff and hit the road, Jack, like the late Ray Charles said. So there's nothing keeping you here. So don't sit up here and educate me about U.S. history, American history, or Black history, or whatever. Okay, and you should have that same smoke for Great Britain as well too.
Hey, Newstoter. So I'm gonna say I just want to be quiet, please.
I know. Shut up. Nobody wants to hear Mammy babble up in here.
I can, and we're gonna have a civilized conversation. And if you cannot mind your tongue, you will be removed because we asked you to stop cussing because the space is being recorded and it's being broadcasted. So we do not want the space to be taken down. See, this is the problem that we have with a lot of these different people who decide when they have a problem. When you start to point out issues in their particular groups, they start to become unhinged and prove that they're in the United States and they are harm to Americans because they have a disdain for Americans. Now, Fatima made a comment about, she likes to hear what people say in a video versus hearing, versus hearsay, and I understand that. But at the same time, Newstoter, maybe we could play the video tonight. I'm hoping, hey, DJ is up here. And we can probably play the video to bring some context for people who seemingly don't want to take their own people's word or accounts or perceptions on what we have heard, that they need to hear it themselves. So maybe that's helpful even for the different groups of people coming in to speak, so now, that they don't come in here and sound like they're talking out the side of their face.
We can do that, Rella. The only thing is that she did speak in the actual language. I don't know if there's an actual video out that actually translate what she's actually saying, but she was actually speaking in Somali to the actual crowd as well too. That's why the actual video had the translation, and as well, like I said, I wrote down shorthanded the actual translation yesterday in the space I wrote down, and the New York Post, like them or love them, what I wrote down is what they actually had in the actual in that actual video as well too. So this one woman came up here just to troll, and she's gonna sit up here and explain to us, talking about we were enslaved or whatever. Yeah, you were enslaved too. I think your colonial master, if I'm not wrong, was Great Britain. So don't sit up here and try to teach us about history and this and that or whatever. And you talking about World War III, yet you sitting right over here in this country. You sitting over here in this.
It was actually the Italian fascists that colonized them, not Great Britain.
Well, whoever it was, they was colonized. So don't sit up here and act like we the bastards that was enslaved over here. And you. and you were sitting over here and you were enjoying freedom and whatnot as well too. Now I'm gonna be honest, we can have a diplomatic conversation. You know, I'm not into to really throwing rocks and stuff like that as well too. I will be respectful with anybody that comes up here. But like this little troll that came up here, you're gonna be respectful one way or another. I'm not gonna sit up here and I'm not gonna go in on you. We're gonna sit up here, have a conversation like grown-ups, and have it and call it a night. You know, I'm gonna let people speak. You're free to speak or whatever, and this and that. I have no issue with you talking about the United States history of colonialism and everything else. And we know better than anybody else what the United States is capable of. We know it. We knew it before you ever knew it. Before the United States actually got up to the capability to go and start to take over governments and put puppets into place. We knew firsthand exactly what they were capable of. So we don't need no history lesson here on the United States and their treatment of people. We know firsthand better than anybody else in the world about the United States. A lot of y'all that come over here, sit up here and talk about, hey, we just making things up and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get to Mustafa, and then anybody else that wants to speak as well to SLVN, go ahead and raise your hand. We got Reverend Tim up here, but Somali, I see you up here, liberal. Any of you guys want to speak? Feel free to speak. Go ahead. Like I said, we're going to be respectful. Somali, you got to put your hand up. You got it because we got speakers in front of you. But go ahead, Mustafa.
Thank you, appreciate it. Good evening. Thanks for having a part two. Want to give shout out to Black Majority, One Love. To be honest, One Love, I think you should write a lot because that girl has some intelligence when she speaks. Couple of things. Look, everyone is looking after their own interest, like country-wise. The reason you have American, like U.S. soldiers in Africa is because they're looking after their interests. The AFRICOM is actually stationed right in Somalia in order to fight the terrorists called Al-Shabaab. Now, the reason why everyone's concerned about the Red Sea is because the goods, the commodities, everything for the U.S. travels through there. 80% of what comes from the rest of the world, whether it's, for the shelves in the market, whether it's goods, whether it's metal, whether it's, tools, everything flows through the Red Sea. It's the most important passage for any ships coming in. Now, a few years ago, or over a decade, you saw what happened about piracy, which skyrocketed the American economy. That affects everybody. So in order for the U.S. to protect its interests, and so the goods don't rise, inflation don't happen, what they did was they stationed their Navy and their Army right near there, right? Which took care of it, some of it. Now the other stuff, the Red Sea comes around to Somaliland, which is not part of Somalia, separate. So what happens is, as soon as it hits there, you have the Somaliland Coast Guard protecting it, along with, the other international, navies. Spain's there, Portugal's there. They're all looking after their own interests, right? But now, since Ethiopia wants to put its navy to look after their own interests, and they don't, Ethiopia is a landlocked country, so they don't have any access to the water. So they decided to make a deal with Somaliland. So again, looking after their own interests. Somaliland is looking to be recognized again. And in return, they're willing to lease out 20 kilometers or 12 miles of the Red Sea to the Ethiopian Navy that's looking after their country's interests. Ethiopia is 127 million people. Most of their goods come through the Red Sea. They need that as well. So it's a trade-off. But what the problem I had was when Ilhan was speaking yesterday or the other day or whatever that night was, she was a congresswoman who took the podium. Now, because you represent a country, you're a sitting congresswoman. When you're speaking, that's how people see you. You weren't some regular citizen who is free to say whatever they want and no one's holding them for it. So when she was talking about the Red Sea and how, she lied. She said Ethiopia is here to take our land and the sea. They're not. They leased it. It's the same way the Americans leased the ports. Mind you, Ethiopia leased 4 ports from Somalia itself. You don't see them making any squat. The moment they decided to lease a port from Somaliland, that's when all hell went loose. You know what I mean? That's when the ugly heads started rearing and coming out. So when she was speaking, she was flexing her muscles for, saying that the greatest, army in the world is behind me, and I will tell them what to do, what to say, so no one's gonna do it. That's where people have a problem with, because he was using it and putting other people's interests over American interests. America does not need somewhere where they get tangled up in, internal affairs between the East Africa, where Ethiopia, Somalia, Somaliland, and so on and so on. But she was dragging them into it, saying, hey, look at me flexing, saying, yeah, this is my power. They will do whatever I want. That's what people have a problem with. She said that as a regular citizen 10 years ago. 10 years from now, no one's going to pay attention. That's all I wanted to tell you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let me ask you a question real quick, Mustafa. Do you think that she should be expelled from Congress, denaturalized, and shipped back to Somalia, in your estimation?
Absolutely. People get affected. Put it this way. African American or Black people in North America, because I live in Canada, get affected for something a lot less than that, right? People with power, people with responsibility should be treated the same way, whether you're white, Black, Indian, Asian, Spanish. She made comments that is regrettable. It's not her first time on doing this. She used American taxpayers to fly over, all the way to Somalia, sit down with people on U.S.'s most wanted list. An American congresswoman sitting down with America's enemy, and no one said anything, using American taxpayers. If she did that with her own money, it would have been fine. But she used the Secret Service, she used the tax money, she used, American media to try to swindle and get them involved there. Now, when you break the law, you break the law. You and I are not going to get a break. Why should she? It makes no difference, right? If you break the law, listen, you and I follow the rules. If I speed at 100 kilometers an hour and the speed limit is 50, I'm going to get a ticket. Why shouldn't she? Because she's a sitting congresswoman. As a matter of fact, because she's a sitting congresswoman, she should be more responsible. We're never going to get a break. Why should she? So therefore, she deserves whatever she gets. It's not her first time breaking the law, and this time she went too far, though. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you. We're going to get to Reverend Tim. We're going to get to Liberal. Anybody else that wants to speak? SLVN. If you want to speak to, like I say, just raise your hand. Somalia against Pan-Africanism. Just raise your hand, guys. Raise your hand. That makes us keep the order of the room easy. So definitely go ahead and raise your hand, and we will get to you. Go ahead, Reverend Tim. You got it?
Thank you, my brother. Seeing how you doing tonight.
Pretty good.
Two co-hosts saying hello to you. Hey, so first off, let me say this here. We have a representative. He's the House Majority Whip. Tom Emmer has also come out and basically asking for her to step down, and it's getting pretty loud here. And I'm glad that Mustafa, I think that was saying that this isn't the only thing that she has done, because you and a couple of other people have been bringing out what's going on here. This is the reason why you guys get to hear about her. We hear about her all the time. So this isn't the first off in the things that has been done here or the things that she's been saying. Also, last night, somebody was talking about, they came on here and they was talking about how we, separate people. And I wanted to let you know here, we don't pretty much separate from them. They separate from us. If you, again, look up Minnesota, look up a school in St. Louis Park, the very place that I was telling you, the black kids and the Somali kids got into a fight. The only reason it was major news is because it was in a white school. It was in a predominantly white community. That's the only reason that made it a news. Because when they are fighting over in North Minneapolis, if they're fighting over in parts of St. Paul, schools in St. Paul, you don't hear nothing about it because it's in a black area. It's in a, as they call us, people of color area. So you don't hear about those fights. But the black kids and the Somali kids are going at it every single day. Whether it's at the mall, whether it's walking up and down the street or wherever they're at. They got a name, Akata, that is being said, and that pisses a lot of these black kids off. And then they go at it. Matter of fact, at that fight at St. Louis Park, they actually had parents coming up there, black parents coming up there, getting into the fight. They've had fights at basketball games that they shut down the basketball game. They shut the school down the next day because of the fight. So it's not like it's one big happy family here. That's not how it works. They stay to their side, we stay to our side. They do their thing, we do our thing. When everything happens here in Minnesota. If you go look at some of the bills that Ilhan is asking for money for, a lot of that money that she's asking for is in her community. There's a community center. They are down over there in Southwest that is somewhat tore down. She's asking for a ton of money just to get that community center up and going. Black kids don't go over there. White kids don't go over there. The native kids don't go over there. The housing that they're building, the new housing, all of these housing projects that they got up and coming, those housing projects are basically for the Somalians. They're not for anyone because they're putting them right there in their community, stone's throw from their community when they have to move these people. And that's another thing, like I said last night, to let you know what's going on, is they're strategically moving these people in certain places so they can basically take out the Republican Party here in Minnesota. Now, I've got a meeting with Don Samuelson. We just put this together today. But I've got a meeting with Don Samuelson. He is running against her. So we're going to be sitting down. I'm going to be meeting with him and talking to him about what we can do and how things can go. Newstoter, I'll keep you abreast of that. I did invite him, if you saw that, I did invite him and his team to this here talk tonight. I don't know if they're here or not, or if they're going to show up, but I did reach out to them. I did invite him on the stage here, so maybe he can give you guys another picture of what we're dealing with here in Minnesota, how the black community has to go through this and go through that, just to get the crumbs that's falling off the table. One more thing, and I'm going to shut up. If you also Google Feed Your Future, Feed Your Future was a scam by the Somalis that took over $500 million. And they sent a lot of that money back to Somalia. They bought houses, they bought cars, they bought boats, and some everything else. So that was one of the schemes that they had going here, the scams they had going here. They also had a daycare fraud scheme going here also, where they said they had all of these kids in the daycare and they did not have it. That was over $250 million that that some of them got away with. So they've been ripping off this year's state, and a lot of people have been pissed about it, and she hasn't said one word about it. So that's what we're saying when we say this isn't just one over. This isn't just one isolated thing that she's got herself involved in. And that's why people are pissed off today. And when I went over south today, talking to some people over there, a lot of people are saying what she said, point blank, was what she said. So somebody can come up on stage here and they can sit here and tell you, no, she didn't say this, she didn't say that. I can tell you, I talked to people today who said what she said is what she said. And I'll land there.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Tim. And Reverend Tim, can you do me a favor and retweet this space out as well, too? I know you got a decent amount of followers, so definitely everybody in the space, go ahead and retweet the actual space out as well. We got a lot of hands up here tonight, guys. So for those that's not going to speak right now, if you don't mind dropping down, go ahead and drop down if you're not going to speak, and then we'll get back to you. But we got a number of hands up here. We're going to go. I'm going to give you the order of everybody that's up here that's got their hands up. We got Liberal, SLVN, we got Trouble, Ibram, Edna was up here, but I guess Edna's having a bunch of issues. So Abu will get to you as well, too. So if you're not going to speak right at this time right now, guys, go ahead and drop down because you got a bunch of people that's trying to request to come up as well, too. So let me go ahead and Reverend Tim, are you going? Uh-huh.
Sorry, Reverend Tim, a very quick question. Well, since he was on the topic.
Okay. Hold on real quick. Say what you was going to say real quick, Rella.
I was just gonna say, if there is any point in time, if Black needs to jump in, because I know sometimes it's hard and he has to kind of juggle back and forth. So just putting it out there.
Okay. Who said something real quick? Somebody was saying they wanted to ask Reverend Tim something. Hey.
Yeah, SLVN. I hope you said it.
No, I just wanted to ask Reverend Tim, are you aware that the flag of Minnesota was changed on the 11th of May 2024? And have you seen that flag? And the flag that was there previously since 1893?
Yes, I put it in the Jumbotron.
Yeah, and the resemblance of where Ilhan Omar is from in Somalia, the resemblance of the flag that they actually bear, and the flag of Minnesota so far.
Yeah, I'm very aware that the flag has been changed. I've seen it. I've talked about it. I've debated it. To be honest with you, my friend, right now, with Black people here in Minnesota being in the dire straits that we are in, that flag is the last thing I'm worried about. I'm trying to pick us up so we can get somewhere and get out of the mill hole that we have dug ourselves in by just sitting back and letting some of our gatekeepers here in Minnesota tell us what to do, who to vote for, where to go, who to be with, who to talk to. And we have let people come in here and basically take over. And we're back in the back of the bus right now here in Minnesota. I mean, it is not good right now. So, yeah, I saw the flag. But like I said before, that flag is the last thing that I'm worried about.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to.
I got a message in my back channel.
Uh-huh.
If you come on stage, and I just want to put this out there, the space is recording. If you come on stage and you fill out any type of domestic cyber terrorist language, I will flag your account with the Fed. Do not try that on this stage. I'm not playing.
All right.
I'm not playing, and that's the only warning I will put out.
Hey, Rella, the 9/11 Sheikh Mastermind was living in Maplewood, New Jersey.
All right, let me real quick, guys. Let me give a shout out to Kenneth and Brother Moku for their contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to because we got a bunch of hands up too. Edna, you come up here, but you keep disconnecting. So I don't know if you're having some issues with your phone or not. We're gonna try to get to you, but when you come up here, you keep disconnecting and dropping back down, and I have to bring you up as well too. Let me go ahead and get to the next speaker, Liberal. Liberal, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you so much for allowing me up. I had a couple of comments in regard to what was being said earlier in this conversation. Number one, you're right. Somaliland was originally a British UK territory. Somalia itself, on the eastern Horn, was partially an Italian part of the early Italian colony. But you're right, Newstoter. So don't let anyone tell you you're wrong when you already know the historical facts of the situation. And then the second thing was, that other gentleman came up here and said, well, that girl was spitting fire or something like that, and began to give you some history, the history that we've already lived through. Most of us in this room are older than 30 years old. I've noted that the youth, even though they have fire in their belly and they talk a lot, doesn't necessarily mean that they're right? And that's a problem, that the newest information that we have, especially from the youth, is secondhand information. The older you are, the more you live through historical events, right? That's just a fact. So it's not necessarily that the youth know more, it's just that they talk a lot. So that being said, the origins behind the U.S. involvement, when I was I was working for the Army at the time over there in Germany, I could tell you, just like anyone else in this room, that the Somali pirates is what it caused this whole thing. And of course, Al-Shabaab, the Al-Shabaab factions in Somalia is what had started this whole thing in the mid-90s. Now, of course, it became a failed state. The UN was called in to try to give some type of semblance of peace. That failed, right? Ethiopia had to get involved, and the U.S., of course, had to get involved as well because, again, international shipping lanes. So it had nothing to do with the U.S. starting anything. And whoever says that in this room is just a bold-faced liar, or they're misinformed, or, like I said, they're young. And they don't know any better. They've just been regurgitating what they've been told, right? So that being said, I wanted to dismiss all of that nonsense, all that bull crap, right? Because we were funding to the tunes of billions of dollars when it comes to keeping those shipping lanes open, especially from Somali pirates and Al-Shabaab and all these other crazy ethno-religious factions in the failed state of Somalia. And that was the second thing. And the third and final thing I want to tell you is that, the United States is very gracious. We're a very tolerant people. This is a very tolerant nation. We've allowed all of these refugees from Somalia to come here through the United Nations envoy, through the UN refugee status, right? We've allowed them to come here. And we've sponsored NGOs, Catholic Service Society of Minnesota, all these other organizations to help these refugees start a new life here in our home country. The Black Americans didn't have any say-so in this. We didn't vote or anything. This was just foisted upon us. This was thrusted upon us, right? And so now 20 years later, we find out that the biggest enclave of Somalis don't respect Black people. They don't care about their new homeland or what they would be their new homeland, America, right? They care more about keeping this failed culture of terrorism and subordination at home and alive in their families. That's what they care about. And that's my personal opinion, of course, but that's what they care about. And that's what you see. Last thing. Why is it that we're all talking about Ilhan Omar And when she gave a speech, and it wasn't in English, we had to have translators, right? We had to have translators translate her freaking speech from whatever language into English. English should be a mandatory requirement and should be a first language and should be the only language spoken by our United States representatives in Congress, whether or not it's in the House or in the Senate. You wouldn't go to Germany and not speak German, right? In their Buddhist republic. Why are you coming over here pretending like you represent all Minnesotans, which she clearly doesn't, and she's speaking another language? We have to hear the substantive portions about her speech through translators, and that's another thing that unsettles me. So that being said, she has to go, and if we're up to me, I would deport every single Somalian who hasn't gotten their citizenship by now. Every single one would be gone from my country, from the country that was so gracious to take them in. So that being said, I'll land my plane. Thank you so much for letting me speak.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming up. SLVN, you already spoke when you asked Reverend Tim that question. Did you have something you want to say real quick? I'll give you a minute since you did ask Reverend Tim a question.
Thank you so much. You know what the funny thing is? The only question I wanted to ask was, or the only thing that I wanted to actually bring to the table is, if you want to actually fight for your country and what you believe in, why not stay there? Why not fight from within? Instead of trying to go to someone else's country, trying to infiltrate their actual system in order for you to have a say. Nelson Mandela, one of the greatest that we know, did not run away and coward. As a coward, he stayed there. He endured prison. He fought for his people and what he believed was right, and then ended up leading those people. So you need to ask yourself this. This woman is a danger to not only America, but to everybody and everything and democracy and whatever it is that we can actually fathom in terms of progression. She does not give a damn about anybody else but her own, a failed state. So if she believes that her people are actually upon the correct path and that they're actually correct, that her country is so great, why not stay there? Why not enjoy what's going on? Why not fight for what she believes is right in her own land? So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it, no problem. A couple of the speakers that already spoke, because we got some people coming up. SLVN, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down for right now so I can bring another speaker up. When we get to everybody and everybody speaks, then we'll start bringing back up speakers who already spoke. So let me drop you.
I'll drop down, Newstoter. You can drop me too, brother.
Okay. I'll go ahead and drop you. And we'll go ahead and I see Ariza is trying to come up here, so we'll go ahead. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Newstoter. I think Black Majority State was up before I was. I know he'd be working, so he may not have been able to put his hand up at the same time. If he like to slide, he did come back to me. I don't mind.
Okay, Black, you want to go ahead and speak real quick?
Yeah, I really, really, truly appreciate that because I just want to run through the things that I got. And I'm going to focus it on what she's doing against Black Americans because I know we got this international issue and that's relevant. I did figure out, thanks to some folks who DM me, that they have clans and she is a part of a clan. They have this 4.5 system where the four major clans hold power over the minorities in that country. And so I put a bunch of stuff in your purple pill, but it appears as though, and I'm gonna kind of go through them. So in 2013, she was arrested in Minneapolis for trespassing. This was at a political event with Hillary Clinton and the president of Somalia. And they essentially allude to the fact that she's like this huge fangirl of the president of Somalia. So She put her freedom in danger in order to try to meet or get close to that person. After that, she started getting kind of political a little bit, and we always say that some people are selected, not elected. It kind of appears that may be the event that kind of pushed her into American politics, to be quite honest, because she kind of has this trajectory after that. 2015, she's in front of a group of people where she's saying your vote could decide what happens in her homeland, right? Then shout out to Miss One Love, Miss Rella, who posted a video where she's in a crowd, and I'm assuming this kind of looks like during the George Floyd era, but she's essentially using that 400 years in that particular video. And then there's a recent video where she uses MLK, and she's taking MLK and she's using it for her own purposes. So she has this chameleon cosplayer energy of Black America, where she's moving in and out of us, using our political struggle, using our political heroes in order to gain political power in this country. And so she's dangerous from just that aspect. Everything that's going on in Minnesota for Black Americans is a modern day tragedy. And I know Reverend can speak to that. There's a lot of Somali crime in that area, I'm sure, because, unfortunately, as we always say, it gets presented as Black crime. However, there are a lot of young people out there who are doing a lot of damaging things. There's a video where she is speaking about the president of Somali, and she says, our president, to these people, and then she says that she calls him her uncle, and he calls her his girl, and which I think is a very strange relationship for her to have as a U.S. congressperson with actual authority with the president of this other country, in the way in which she was willing to do things in the past to get close to this person. And now she's verbally speaking in plain English that she controls the U.S. government, and she's going to use it to, in fact, defend this particular country. Let me also say this. She's been removed from committees, a Foreign Affairs Committee last year. There's been calls to oust her out of Congress going back probably since she's been there. I've found a couple, 2019. Seems like every year there are calls to get her out of Congress. But for us, this most recent Narcan and Cobra House Resolution 414, which has 300 organizations that endorse this thing. Let's be clear. We need to figure out who those 300 organizations are. But she is one of the sponsors of the resolution. And I posted the Narcan and Cobra screenshot of the link to the fact that these people, and Arthur Ward just posted recently how Cam Howard is trying to get rid of direct cash payments so they can move Black American lineage descendants reparations over to Africa, and then the Africans decide what they want to do with it. She's also been on record talking about climate change reparations for all these foreign countries that have absolutely nothing to do with our lineage claim here. So for all of those reasons, outside of everything she's got going on in her own country and all of that, she is very dangerous to Black America. And I'll end with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. I appreciate you coming up here. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, shout out to you, Newstoter, DJ Rella, and the usual suspects up in the cut. Thank you for letting me come to the stage. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm going to try not to be long-winded, but I just want to hit on a couple of points. First of all, first person that came to the stage and the second case I think it's disingenuous to come and sit your behind on the stage and pretend as if you haven't heard the videos, as if you haven't read an article, as if Ilhan Omar hasn't been a trending topic for this last week as far as what it was that she said on that video. So to come here and try to chastise somebody about the article that they chose to use, the sourcing from where they got the information from, when there's multiple places where this information is sitting at, that's some disingenuous BS, and that's that demagogue BS that we have to continually deal with, as a black people. And I'm tired of you all doing that. I'm tired of you all coming inside of this space and sitting here like, oh well, you got your sourcing from the New York Post, and they're not reliable, and I don't want to just take somebody else's word for what they said. I need to look at it myself. Oh, you've seen it, but you Democrats love to dismiss the very things that Black Americans be talking about and telling you, because you want to uphold the supremacy of the Democratic Party. For some reason, you all are so brainwashed. You're so silly-minded, because what you don't understand, and I don't know if you all are just dingbats, if you're just ding-ding-dings, and you think that you're the smartest people in the world, but these foreign blacks are smarter than you Democrats are, because they understand that in the 80s, the majority of Black Americans had a Pan-Africanist type of mindset, where we thought that them coming here was going to help us out. And a lot of us are far removed from that thought process, but you Democrats are still on that wave. You all are still there. And so what they're essentially doing is using that allegiance and alliance against the rest of us, because you all are still stuck on that plantation of we all the same people, when they are not there. They are here for their own interests. And it's unfortunate that you all don't see that, but the rest of us does. So that's the only point I wanted to make about that. Besides the little nut clad that came to the stage talking about how it was the U.S. and the U.K. that messed their lands up, and that's why she had to flee here. Well, why come you didn't flee to the UK if you stated that it was the US and the UK? Why flee to either land, if they had a hand in messing your land up? The last people I'm going to run to is my enemy. You done burnt down my house and I'm going to run to yours? I mean, what type of foolishness is that? No, I'm going to stay in my own land and I'm going to fight the hell out of you. So don't use that as an excuse, and then come here. Come into our space, come into our stage, and then start cussing at us because you want to defend a woman whose interest lies with her own people, as if we Black Americans don't have a right to have a say about our own people and our own land. Like we don't have a right to feel that way. I think it's some disingenuous BS that comes on, and you all, I love it when you speak though, because you continue to expose yourself, and that's essentially what I want you to do. Keep exposing yourselves, because maybe the rest of us who act like we don't get it will finally get it when we hear you say it out of your own mouth. It is the arrogance and the audacity, but I'm loving it. I love it when an op tell me the plan that I already knew was the plan. I love it when you speak your thoughts, baby. Please keep speaking. Don't ever shut up. Keep speaking. I want to see my enemy coming. I like to see you from a distance so I can hit you with the 4-5 from behind. That's what it is. So, Ilhan, then let's make no mistake about it. And I know a lot of us would say she gotta go. Yeah, she gotta go, but she's not going to go. Because make no mistake about it, she didn't get up there and say anything that wasn't already American approved.
She got to go to Wednesday.
Hey, I don't know who that is, Sean, whoever that is that got your mic unmuted, but in this space, we raise our hand. We don't come off the mic either. So nobody in the space, come off your microphone, raise your hand if you want to speak, and we'll get to you. Don't interrupt anybody that's speaking. Go ahead, Trouble. I know it's a delay. You there, Trouble?
Yeah, that double mute going on.
What's that double mute?
Yeah, there she goes.
I'm sorry. So Ilhan didn't say anything that her American masters didn't approve her to say. She said exactly what she was supposed to say. Because her interest are actually America's interests. Ilhan, just like the majority of countries inside the continent of Africa, they rally to their own people in their own interests, and they don't champion what's best for the continent as a whole. They're only looking out for their own selves and their own people. And so I don't know if she knows it or not, but America has a certain type of interest over there for that land over there. So, yeah, they're going to allow her to come out and say whatever it is that she wants to say about the Ethiopians and whoever else over there. And they're going to give her that pass because what she said was approved. They knew what she was going to say before she said it because they gave her the script to read. But I hope she understands, just like the rest of the Somalians that are here and being arrogant and warring against everybody else that was originally from this land when you fled here, that white supremacy always breaks its tools. And when that white man gets done with you and he finally decides to put that foot to your behind, you can flee back into your lands from which you came from. And Ilhan may know that. That's why she's setting it up so that she'll have a place to go back to. She'll destroy Ethiopia and everything around Somalia to make sure that Somalia is the creme de la creme. So when she flees back home, because she knows she's going to have to flee back home, you're going to have to go back home at some point in time. That's what you don't understand. That's what a lot of us don't understand. That's what her people don't understand. You all pledged an allegiance, the Somalians did, to America. So whatever America wants to do with the countries surrounding Somalia, you all will be willing to allow them to do it solely for your own selfish needs so that your country and your people will be taken care of and okay. And that's one of the reasons why when they come here, they don't give a damn about us, because they don't give a damn about other Africans surrounding their nations over there. So we can't expect them to have our backs or have our best interests at heart when they come here. That's why that little girl can get her little arrogant behind up front here. And aren't you all slaves? You one right now and you don't even know it. You arrogant with it too. It's funny watching a funny slave that don't even know that they a slave. You a slave right now, little girl. You a slave. And you don't even know it. That's what's funny. That's what kiki. That's what's funny. Fix your land before you try to flee to another land and then try to pull your arrogance and hand your little stank behinds to the people who's been on this land fighting for you all for so long. But we're opening up our eyes now that we see that you ain't it. And I'm going to land on next. I got to get this boy his pizza. So thank you, Toto.
All right. Trouble. Shout out to Trouble coming up here. Real quick, guys, up in the Jumbotron, we got the Newstoter Cash App. For those that can support us on Cash App, $, Newstoter, $, Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest. Newstoter is the. Hey, can you hear me, Black? I don't know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I heard Black. He left.
Oh, okay. I ain't know.
His mic was open. It's okay.
Real quick, guys, so for those that can support us on Cash App, $, Newstoter, $, Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, $, Newstoter, $, Newstoter. For those that don't have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. Same for my folks over there on YouTube. The Cash App is on the screen, and the that's $, Newstoter, $, Newstoter, and the Venmo and PayPal is in the description on YouTube. For my people on YouTube, make sure y'all share this broadcast out tonight. For my people in the space, make sure y'all retweet the space out tonight as well, too, guys. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I told you about letting me follow Trouble, and then I ain't gonna be able to say anything. And whatever I say, people ain't gonna know what I'm saying because that Trouble done said it all. How you doing?
What's up?
Hi, everybody. Hello, co-host. Everybody in the room that knows me and I know them.
Hey, Jack.
You know, Trouble said it. And Trouble really gave y'all the key to the root for us when she started talking about that money. See, we got to keep our eye on the prize. and that's the root of it. And yeah, this woman, this is for the Reverend, because I'm glad I came in when I did, because I was able to hear what he said, and he answered a lot of my questions. Wait a minute, hold on, because it escaped me. Hold on. Ilhan, oh, she's part of that squad. Here's the thing, Rev. She's doing the same thing that what's her name down there in the city, the Hispanic squad woman. She's a rep. Cortez, is that her name? You know,
Yeah, you talking about AOC?
AOC, yeah, her. You know, they all grouped together. They brought Cori Bush in with them too, and you see what they doing to Cori Bush. They really attacking her. But Rev, she did the same thing AOC did. She redistricted, got her stuff redistricted right after that census, and went from 44% black district to 11% black. So she don't have to do nothing for nobody but the base of her constituents, which is all, you know, her people, right? And that's what that woman did. They doing the same damn thing all over everywhere. And the squad people, and even Ayanna, she's a disappointment to me anyway. And I just wanted to tell them that, and asked him, ask Mr. Samuelson again if he'll come. Maybe Newstoter, maybe send him this and let Newstoter tell him this is how he runs his stuff. Because, you know, they don't really like to come out in a bunch of mess. And we would love to hear what he has to say and how we can support his efforts if the Reverend gave his okay and say this is the one. So try that and see what we come up with. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. No taxation. Let me get to Ibram. Ibram, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello, everyone. I'm obviously, as you can see, I'm a first generation Sheldon, the Bye-Bye, the flag, first generation Somali American. I don't really have issue with what you all are saying. It's just my only issue is why all of a sudden is this such a big issue? Ilhan Omar is saying the same thing that every politician says when they're speaking to their base. My priority is with y'all. I personally, I associate with black. I am a black American. I know that I am a black American. If someone looks at me, I am black, and I have no issue with that, and I am fully proud of that. So I kind of just don't understand why people are quick to hate on Somalis when, first of all, they're 1% of Minnesota's population, and if y'all forgot, they're not even noticed in Ilhan Omar's district. Her district is majority white. So what I'm trying to get at is why all of a sudden are people just happy to slate Somalis in general when most of them, not including me, don't support Ilhan, support black causes, and at the same time have an issue with what she's saying. She is saying stuff that obviously have issue with a lot of people, like supporting another country that's not America. But at the same time, America is a national superpower, international superpower. They influence decisions all over the world. So the fact that this is all of a sudden an issue kind of seems like it's just ignorance, and it's coming from a place of hatred. And that's all I just wanted to say.
Okay, Ibram, real quick. When have black Americans picked on Somalis?
I'm not trying to pull out other people, but in this space specifically, I'm assuming that there are many black speakers speaking today that have already picked on Somalis, saying that they are ignorant, that they are white people worshiping. Trouble just said earlier that they will be running back to where they came from, and you are letting the white man, all that nonsense. It's multiple speakers. The black majority state migration control. Obviously, he went on a rant about Somalis. Reverend went on a rant about Somalis. So
those were not rants. And again, I caution.
Oh yeah. Hold on, Rella. Hold on.
I know, but please.
Hold on. Let him finish real quick.
no, I'm just trying to.
I know, but what
what I really want him to hear is, again, we're having a dialogue about the information, and from our perspective, they're not rants. In those types of digs, when you start to actually regurgitate the things that you hear and you're using them as a nothingness, it lets me know that you did not even hear anything they had to say because you are affected by what is being said instead of actually addressing the nature and the context of what is being said. So if you can't repeat what was said, then there is a problem of communication, and you have to be willing to have that conversation. It is unfair and it is not correct to sit in a recorded space and to also represent yourself as someone who is from another part of another nation, to come in and say, hey, I know if someone looks at me and I'm black, this, that, and the third, but then turn around and be offended by people who have a recollection of a population of people who were once refugees who came into the country and were given a space by then President Obama. So again, I really, really want you to truly, truly think about what you just said and how you could also be offending the people who had spoken about the perception and the information that they also know about. And you're trying to pass it off as if it's nothingness. That's incorrect and that's improper.
I understand what you're saying, and I am sorry if I offended anyone. But yes, you are right. It does affect me. When people are addressing Somalis, I am also under that bracket. So yeah, I understand. I had to take responsibility for that. That yes, what people are saying does affect me, and it turns on the blindfold, I guess. But still, it's not nothingness. People are talking about Somalis in a way that is disrespectful. When it comes to Black America's struggles and causes, I'm not someone who's going to hide just because and say I am Somali. That has nothing to do with me. I'm also affected by them. And that's something I just wanted to add. But yeah, thank you for rising me up to the space.
Hey, Newstoter, he mentioned me, so can I get 20 seconds?
Real quick, because it's a lot of hands and you cutting in on a lot of people, Reverend Tim. So I'm gonna give you 30 seconds because we got a lot of people that's waiting.
I just want to make sure that he understands that it's not a bash on Somali people. There was a young Somali female who had a gun pulled on her in Eden Prairie. The Black community went down there, marched on that McDonald's, and we made sure that the man who pulled that gun on that Somali female was prosecuted. There was a Somali kid that was over on the bridge over in North Minneapolis that got beat up by some people. We went over there and made sure that that kid was okay. So this is not a rant about the Somali people. So definitely not for me. Anytime that the Somali community needed any type of help or something went down, we went over and we marched with and for the Somalis. What we are here in Minnesota are talking about are the white liberals who are taking the Somali community and basically putting them before the Black community. That is happening here in Minnesota. I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're at.
He's left the space, but go ahead.
I'm telling you exactly what is going on. I'm telling you what is happening right here on the ground right now. So, and like I said before, for what Ilhan has done here in Minnesota, this is not just a one-off. And that's what people are thinking who has never kept up with her. We keep up with her. This isn't a one-off of things that she's done. So, you know, somebody think that I'm bashing her. I'm not bashing her at all. I've got to look out, just like she said she's got to look out for hers. Well, I'm here looking out for mine. So I just wanted to throw that out. Thanks.
All right, Reverend Tim, thank you. Let me get to let me see. Abu, did you still want to speak? You were next.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I think Edna was before me.
No, I think you were next, and then Edna's after you.
All right. Well, all right. Thank you for me up. Regarding this Ilhan Omar topic, I think Trouble, she kind of really hit the mark. I think she had the best analysis of the situation. Ilhan Omar, right? She didn't really say anything that was not, how do I say it? She didn't really say anything that was not new, right? Her speech was actually a speech that was kind of like in line with America's foreign policy. So there's a lot of people here trying to make it into like a spiritual gang, African tribal match. There's a lot of people in here with a lot of foreign accents, a lot of African accents, right? Somalis are very tribal people, so naturally they want to draw other people into their tribal matters and, trying to make this other people's issues, right? So Ilhan Omar, personally, I'm not a fan of her, but yeah, she didn't really say anything that was unusual. She kind of really said something that was kind of in line with American foreign policy regarding Somalia. So that's really all I'd say.
All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to Edna. Edna, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi there. So I'm hoping that when Americans are talking about Somalia, they are not including Somaliland. If that's the case, then the intent is genocide. And why am I saying that? Ilhan Omar, using her congressional seat, is trying to annex a country that she has nothing to do with. I think there's an African American lady who spoke on how Ilhan Omar uses African American accomplishments to propagate her, to propel her career. The same thing she does with the people of Somaliland. So when Trump was on her neck, she utilizes Somaliland's, good record to say, oh, look here, we are, it's actually functioning on this part of Somalia. In doing so, Ilhan Omar is actually genocidal in her intent. And I've come to realize I was in another space, an African-American space, and they were talking about, but the State Department has not recognized Somaliland. I'm like, but that has nothing to do with statehood. We have territorial integrity that Ilhan Omar very effectively dismantles, blurs, and this is exactly what her genocidal uncle, Siad Barre, did. So our parents were traumatized, just like the people of the people who suffered the Holocaust. Just like anybody who suffers any kind of trauma, the ones who are affected primarily don't speak about their trauma. They try to kind of repress it. But the children and the grandchildren of the Isaac genocide are now here. We shall go after Ilhan Omar with a vengeance. We shall go after America because America seems to subsidize her genocidal intent on us. And, you might not believe me. People, when they say Somalis, like there was a person here, Ibrahim, he was saying Somali. This person is intentionally stripping me of my identity, of my culture, of my nationality. I know you people are not very interested in our history, but the term in itself, Somali, came from my country that these people have completely eradicated. I'm telling this to Americans. You might think that we are lying here, the people of Somaliland. We suffered brutally under these people, and it's going to come knock on your doors because no one seems to listen to us. We have been dehumanized based on this Somali label. But if you guys had some kind of semblance of maybe vigilance, listen to what we are saying. Some of you say, the Somalis don't like us. But ask us, what did they do to us? We try to save Somalia from not being able to be sovereign on its own, not being able to gain independence on its own. And this is factual. I'm not making up stuff. This is a recorded space. And I'm hoping the CIA actually listens to this space and the FBI, because they need to know that the American State Department is collaborating with Ilhan Omar to cause us another genocide and to steal our country, annex our country. But this is going to come get the poor taxpayers, the American taxpayers, because America will be mired in wars. The shipping lanes is we are from Somaliland. Somalia has nothing to do with the shipping lanes. I don't even know. And even in history, we had a relationship with Ethiopia, not Somalia. So the lies that Somalia has propagated is something that I'm actually glad that people are starting to see what we have always been asserting. And we don't really care what anybody says about us. We believe in inequality of states, and we also believe in international law. So thank you, Ms. Newstoter. I'm hoping that you can tell African Americans that it's really painful. You can look at my profile, that when these people say Somalis, they diminish who I am. They diminish my nationality, my identity, my existence. And it's Hitler tactics. So Hitler, when he wanted to kind of create his own empire, he dismantled states. And he did this because he knew that territorial integrity gave people some kind of protection. So he sent his SS to places like Poland, Czechoslovakia, places that he actually dismantled completely in terms of statehood. And a lot of people were massacred in those countries versus in Germany, which had some kind of protection of statehood. Listen, it's exactly the same thing Ilhan Omar is doing. Ilhan Omar is attempting to annex the Republic of Somaliland. We gained independence prior to Somalia. They annexed us and militarily occupied us. We fought back these people. In 1991, we went back to our borders. And Hillary Clinton, with her debacle in Benghazi, Libya, was the one who was kind of manipulating into talking about this one Somalia policy to kind of pull the wool over the eyes of Americans. But thank you so much, and I'm hoping that you guys will kind of listen to us. You don't have to believe what we're saying. Maybe dig deeper, not on this kind of Wikipedia or whatever, Google. Try to find primary sources in the British archives, even American archives. Thank you so much.
All righty. There was a lot to digest there, but okay. Thank you, Edna. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what up, Black family?
What's up, Pressure?
What up, News? DJ,
Hey,
Rilla, all the usual suspects. So I'm gonna say just a few things, News. I'll say this. I'm gonna kind of go back to where we left off yesterday, and then Trouble took all my damn talking points, but I'm gonna say them anyway. So I was noticing a lot yesterday. I know I jumped in here today late, but when you talk to the Native Africans from Somaliland or Somalia, it was a reoccurring thing. They lecture us about tribe and their tribe and their phenotype. Well, we're not the Ethiopians, and we're not Nigerians, and we're not the South Africans, and I'm from then look at their hair and their nose and their eyes, and we're not the same. And they like to evoke religion, and Islam. I have a newsflash for you. White supremacy doesn't give a damn about anything you talk about. Nothing. We Black people in America learned this centuries ago, well before I was born. Our enemy is white supremacy. You don't think there were different tribes in the guts of those slave ships when they pulled up to America? We found out real quick, white people don't care. Stop if you and this is my little 2 cents to y'all. If you really want to get out the condition you in and stop them white folks from putting their foot in your ass, drop all that shit. Drop the religion, drop the tribes, drop the phenotype, drop all that. And you really need to drop all that nonsense to fight white supremacy. I have some more stuff I want to say, News, but like you said, you got a lot of hands, so I'll mute up and listen, and maybe I'll get the opportunity to come back in a few.
Yeah, you get a chance to come back up here. Definitely come back up here, Pressure, as well, too. Let me go ahead and get to Ariza. Ariza, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
You're kind of low. You got earbuds on?
Yeah. How about now?
I can hear you better.
Okay, this is the best I can do. I'm in Alaska, so you know how that goes. Hi, everybody. My name is Arinza Thigpen Jr. I'm well known on these spaces that have to do with intellectual Black thought. And I got a message for you guys who are Somalian, and about Ilhan Omar. For those of you that don't, this message is really for SLVN, because he started out by saying how the United States government is responsible for sending money overseas. There are two levels of people in the United States: those that are in politics, that are involved with financial transactions outside of the average American, and then there are the average Americans that are involved with grassroots efforts to try to make change. So the SLVN, this message is for you. We weren't responsible for those things that happened with the politicians that did that. And the reason why I'm telling you this, because I told you this before, you may not remember, but the American government and the people who represent the American government are different from the American citizens, who are just average, everyday people like you and me that make changes in our community. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you want to make change, you have to become in a position to make change. And until then, that's a challenge. So I'm only saying this directly to you because I heard what you said. And you have to remember that there are two classes of people in the United States: those that are in politics and those that are not. My message to the Somalians is this. I told you guys since day one that if you want to make change, you have to get behind Black Americans. Most of you didn't listen. Now look at the situation. You got people over in your neck of the woods turning on each other. I understand the argument about Somaliland and about Somalia, the conflict with Ethiopia. I get all that. But the reason why these conflicts are happening externally is because their constitution, their form of government, doesn't protect them similar to how our constitution protects us. Now, white supremacists have exploited our constitution up until recent times because now we're beginning to turn the tables. But you guys didn't learn from us. If you learned from our experiences, you would be able to see all of these problems coming. And that's what they're banking on, is that you don't understand the dynamics of how white supremacists operate. This genocide that's happening in Palestine, I've been watching it since day one. And I have reposted a lot of their comments, and I translated it too from Arabic to English. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because all this exploitation of people happens when your government doesn't have rules and regulations to protect you. And now you got this lady in Congress, Ilhan Omar, who's exploiting the system because she's getting help from white supremacists and other quote-unquote special interest people that want to make changes that benefit others, but they keep skipping over Black Americans. Now we're beginning to put our foot down. And ladies and gentlemen, it brings me back to this point. This is what I want to tell all of you, especially if you're Black Americans and you're listening to this space. The bottom line is this. The only reason any country in the world has been able to make any type of advancement is because of the money that they took from us, rightfully and unrightfully. Black Americans built this country. For Black Americans, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, whatever the case may be, died blood, sweat, and tears to bring up the industries that have been able to put money into the coffers that the United States government is just willfully and freely distribute to all these other countries around the world, including countries in the African continent. This is the year 2024, and it will go down as the year of correction, where Black Americans take back what is theirs, justify the Constitution so that it works fairly, get our reparations money, empower our Black American people, and so on and so forth. But you guys in Somalia, if you want a playbook, you send me a message, DM, I'll give you one. It's real simple. See, that's one of those benefits from being from Tuskegee, is that they give you the playbook. But my message were not U.S. citizens, let alone Blacks. If you didn't think that white supremacy didn't have its arms in your places where you're from, think again. You got the Zionists in Israel that are responsible for this genocide in Palestine. You got the CIA and all these other governmental agencies that know what you're doing in Somalia. And I know movement in Somalia because constitutional rights are not as strong as ours. And if it was, you wouldn't have to worry about the Blue Star movement. And when it comes to religion, that's just a way for a certain group of people to have authority over others. Because it's not fair that you use religion to declare yourself higher than somebody else. We're talking about a human population, not a psychological belief. And there's a difference between the two. But most people from Africa don't know this because the strength of what made Africa the way it was came over here to the United States involuntarily, and we're building up from that. So in theory, we're the only ones that know how to protect you. But why are we going to spend time protecting you guys over in the African continent when we got our own cross to bear, that we got our own fight to deal with against these same white supremacists that have been...
Are you still there, Reza?
Okay, are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
My bad. I had a call that came in. Yeah, my bad. I apologize, guys. My bad. My point to you guys is that you got to understand this. If you're a black person, an African from your continent, from your country, you have to understand the dynamics of what I'm telling you, because you're not going to win against them, because your constitutional rights from your country are not strong enough to stop them from messing with you. This is what's happening in Israel/Palestine right now. They have an uncodified, unwritten rules, a set of rules and regulations that mirror that of apartheid. You can't walk on this street. You can't talk to this person. You can't do business with this group of people. That's apartheid in the face. And guess what? Unless your governmental doctrine is strong enough to withstand this bullshit, sorry to the moderators, I didn't mean to cuss, but I'm kind of mad. If you don't have anything in place to protect you, you're inviting supremacists and other organizations to come in and take everything from you. We don't have that problem in the States anymore because we have the ability to change all of this. So if you want to be able to learn how to change it for your country, you have to get behind the Black Americans. And for those of you Somalians that are not on the side of Ilhan Omar and other people who talk bad about Black Americans, your job is to correct them and to put them in their place. If you're a Somalian that believes in the Black American experience, stop these constituents of yours, these people that are associated with your country, from saying and doing stuff that messes with us. We laid the foundation for the entire world. Economically, culturally, spiritually. I mean, we are the ones who made everything work. We're the ones who put sugar and milk and sweetened the milk and made it good for everybody. We're the ones who did that. So I can understand the argument between, these countries that are upset. I get it. I understand that you're under stress because of what these powers of authority are doing to you. I get it. But you are a group of people that are responsible for your own rules and regulations and laws that you can change. Learn from our experience historically as Black Americans and get behind our present day efforts to get reparations. Because when we win, you win. If you talk against Black Americans, you're going to get slapped in the face. None of these Black Americans are never going to say what I'm saying to you. And a lot of them don't speak your language, but I do. I understand you. And that's why I'm telling you, if you want to learn how to do this better, learn from those who've already experienced the degradation of white supremacy, the discrimination, the annihilation, the lynchings, the historical excuses for why they think that they're better than us. Learn. We were here first and we'll be here last. This is our country. We're Black Americans. I stand on that. That's all I pretty much want to say. I just salute all the Black Americans that are listening to me right now. If you want to see what I'm about to do, please follow me on Twitter. Newstoter, I got something for you in a few. But the point that I'm trying to make to all you non-U.S. citizens, whether you're Black or African or white or not, I don't care what you are. Black Americans are never going to give up an inch on intellectual black thought. We're not going to give up an inch on our constitutional rights. And we're definitely about to put this financial system under control. I promise you that, on my mama. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because those days of you guys, playing this role where you don't understand are over. We got a lot of people that are suffering. And those days, they're over. They're over. So I'll land my plane there. Thank you, Newstoter, for having me. Thank you for everybody there. Black State, I see you. Trouble, I see you. Y'all know the deal. And I'll land my plane. B1.
All right. Appreciate that, Reza. Let me, Sean, I know you've been having some connection issues. Do you want to go ahead and speak now while you're up here?
Are you talking to me, brother?
Yeah, you've been back and forth. That's what I'm saying. Do you want to go ahead and speak?
Yeah, the nice thing about being alone for a bit is that you get to get a mic, I guess, occasionally with a dunce cap on, and I keep hearing people talk about locations, and I don't know how to respond to it. Not that anybody's asking, because no one is asking, but I'm thankful to be here. I guess is probably all I have. Man, I've been offering quite a few things, mainly Bible verses. I'm not qualified for that, as I understand, because nobody really likes to hear them. It's like being read, you're right, to quote a Bible verse, but I do like to talk about it.
Hey, so what does the Bible say about reparations? Let's go.
Reparation? Well, I don't think that's a word. I think that would be etymology from the Bible. I learned that from my aunt. My dad's sister taught me, not intentionally, but I saw a post that she made one time, and it had the word etymology.
Real quick, Sean, before we get too far off on the subject, what do you have to? Do you have anything you want to add to the conversation tonight? Real quick on Ilhan Omar.
She is very attractive, and I'm sure she's married. I'm not sure why people are upset about people moving around.
The troll news. Kevin Samuels, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you got nothing to say then, basically.
Well, I suppose I could pick a side, but I guess what I would say about it is that the intentional side and probably the expected side is like, oh, well, she doesn't like being here, or maybe.
Well, hold on, DJ. Hold on, real quick.
You asked me what I thought, so let me tell you.
Yeah, you got to hurry up too, man.
Okay, so what I think is this. What I think is we're all God's children. And Christians are sexy, and so are Muslims.
All right.
If you don't believe me, then why do they keep coming out with new Christians and Muslims?
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to hear a bunch of mumbo jumbo, Sean. So thank you for coming. Let Brother C. Hold on, Brother C. I know you've been back and forth. Is it something, brother Shay? I think it is. Is it something that you want to add to the conversation? Brother Shay, Brother She.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you have a headset on, anything? Earbuds?
I just took it off.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And according to this last brother, there is something in the Bible that talks about reparations. It's called the year of jubilee. But anyway, the brother before him just really took a lot of my thunder. He spoke very eloquently and beautifully, and so did Trouble. But I just wanted to say to my Somalian brother that took offense to what we're saying in this chat room. Your offense should be with your people. When your people came here, we had our arms open, thinking that you would be with us. But you were brought in here by the white people, and they told you to stay away from us. And a lot of Somalians, and you know this, what I'm getting ready to say, a lot of Somalians chose to be with white people
That's why they went to Iowa. Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead and finish. Sorry about that, DJ. Go ahead and let him go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
That's why they went to Iowa and Minnesota, the coldest places and the whitest places. Okay, and the ones that were in Atlanta. I saw this on a POV, which is Point of View PBS program. They talked about those Somalians on there, and they were saying that they told their people in Atlanta to move to Iowa because they did not want to associate with African American children and African American culture. They thought it was against their culture, and so they went with the white people. And so now I understand you're born here, but you've heard your people speak out against African American culture and African American people. So don't come in this space where we are hurt by your rejection of us. Because at the end of the day, as was spoken, they don't see you as African. They don't see you as Somalian. They don't see Ethiopian. They don't see African American. They see black. And when they come against us, they come against us as African black people. Okay? And it's a shame that your people did not embrace us back. Okay? So you're hurt by what we say. I understand. But it comes from a place that of betrayal. We don't like betrayal. We don't like sellouts. You need to go and be and speak to your Somali community, those that are speaking ill of black African Americans. I'm not saying all do, but you heard those that do. You have family members that have. Please take it up with them. Don't come in this space and talk to us. We're here for black people. I'm a Pan-Africanist. I love all Africans, all black people. Okay? But when you separate yourself to go to white people, that's a slap in our face. That's like any African American that goes to white people. Like when Kanye hugged and kissed Trump, that's a slap in our face.
Brother, see, let me ask you a quick question. What
Chase, my name. Sorry about that.
Brother, what now?
Che.
Brother Che. Brother Che. Yeah, Brother Che. What are your thoughts about Ilhan Omar?
I'm disappointed with her. I'm disappointed with her in two ways. She married that white man. And then I heard what she said. And I'm just disappointed with her because she's taking up for, as was stated in this chat room, she's advocating for the Somali community instead of African Americans. And she's an elected official. And so I was very much with her and for her. But I'm taking it back on that.
No, right. I appreciate you coming up here, brother. I appreciate you coming up here. We're gonna
Thank
move.
you for the time.
No problem. No problem. I see we got Miss Stephanie up here as well too. Stephanie, how you doing tonight? And guys, I know the conversation is kind of flowing and stuff too, but let's not forget we're talking about Ilhan Omar as well too. So let's try to focus on her and her politics and everything that's going on as well too, because the conversation seems to kind of be drifting. I don't mind it staying in a certain area, but I also want to keep it focused on her as well too. So Stephanie, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? Hi everybody.
What's up?
I just wanted to say I wanted to respond.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Miss Rella. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm at work. I'm just going to be real brief, and then I'm going to keep quiet. I just wanted to respond to a couple of things, and then I'll get into Ilhan. It's not going to be long, I promise. First off, to the people that was responding and saying that we were attacking Somalis, you got to understand one thing. In the Black American culture, okay, it is embedded in our genetic DNA. We are very reactionary people. And this is not something that we choose to be like. It's embedded in our DNA for our survival. Okay? This has been going on since slavery. Okay, so we had to watch a lot of things and the enemies that we had to deal with at that time, from then to now. Secondly, I didn't hear anybody say anything to that girl, which I think I know who it trolled, that did spaces a couple of years back, and all she did was put up images of Americans hanging from trees that were burnt alive, and she used the N-word, like she did tonight as she was being disconnected from the chat. Okay, she did say F and enter. I heard it right just as she was being disconnected. I see, it's just ridiculous how we sit up here and sometimes we like to, chastise people when people are coming back against a response that was said that people didn't agree on. Okay, we need to show that same energy on both sides. So you can't just choose say one thing to a person that's responding back to somebody that says something negative. Of course, people are responding and they're pulling out facts. Okay, this has been going on for years. Now, as far as this thing with Ilhan Omar, right? Ilhan Omar violated the United States Constitution. Okay? She violated her oath of office. She abused her power. And not only did she do that, but she violated her oath and citizenship. Okay? Because she did gain citizenship. Now, a lot of that can stem if the United States decide to investigate it. They have a lot of evidence to bring up charges on it. Okay? Now, whether she does time in jail or she be deported, that's up to them. But see, this is a clear sign that the Somali community will be targeted. They're going to be targeted because guess who's getting in on the fun? The GOP. Those red-blooded white Americans are going to jump in on this, and they're going to be targeting anybody that wears a turban or whatever, or a hijab or whatever. It's not Black Americans. It's going to be them. Why? Because they're going to put all of this propaganda out about you guys being terrorists and all these other things. They're going to be bringing back up Lockerbie, Scotland, 1988. They're going to talk about Mogadishu, 1993. They're going to be talking about a lot of things. The bombing in Kenya, Tanzania, and all these other things that's happened years ago. And you guys are going to be at the forefront. Because she put you out there, she pretty much threw you guys under the bus. So I just wanted to be brief with that and just sit back and just listen and just understand instead of just saying that we're attacking you for no reason. We're just attacking the situation in itself. We're not attacking a whole group of people. We're just attacking the issues from her, and that's it. And from that, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. I know you're at work trying to get it, so thank you for coming up. Appreciate you, Stephanie, and a lot of you guys at that cognitive and Black majority states you guys be working, and even you too, Raleigh, you guys be working, yet you take time to actually come into these spaces and actually participate as well too. So shout out to all my people in here that be working that night shift that come in and still support the actual spaces and the content as well too. Real quick, guys, I want to go ahead and say for those that can contribute on Cash App, once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. If you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron, same up in YouTube, Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. We also have the Cash App and Venmo in the actual description. Any amount, if you got $1 that you can contribute to the platform, please, is greatly appreciated. Make sure you guys visit newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news. Once again, that is newstoter.com. There's all kind of articles on the actual site. We got news, we got education, we got lifestyle, we got culture, we got entertainment, we got music. We got pretty much everything that you can, health, you name it. So, guys, definitely visit newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news. Once again, newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking Black news and also support Black media. Like I say, if you have $1 that you could donate to the platform, it is greatly appreciated. We got a new speaker up here. Before I get to the other speakers that spoke, let me go ahead and get to Street Social. And then we'll get back to some of the old hands up here as well too. And anybody else that wants to speak, come on up here as well too. Street Social, you there?
My bad. I was sending that cash app and the sucker started pausing. My fault. Hey, thanks for letting me speak. This is a very interesting development. We need to learn from this. We need to capitalize on it. I think there needs to be a committee created amongst concerned citizens that put America first to use this example as fuel motive of the necessity for us to actually review all these Congress people and their voting records and do a little background checks to see are they putting America first or they have dual allegiances putting other groups of people first. Ilhan Omar is not. There's white people that do it, Latinos do it, as everybody else does it. So we're really at a very interesting point in our history in this country where the conversation is on a nationwide scale of, you heard the phrase America first. And I ask you guys not to be afraid of that. And I actually ask you to, kind of consider backing that. Because the simple fact is this: we cannot have people in position of power, especially over us, like a congressperson that has dual interests, dual allegiances, and is not putting America first, especially in a time like this when it seems like too many in the Democratic Party have pretty much sold out, lost their way, lost the plot. This is a good, interesting time to be alive in, where we can start to have discussions with these right-wing Republicans about, okay, listen, see how patriotic you are. How near and dear do you hold the ideals of America and what it means, and the freedoms and the liberty and all that shit you guys like? Excuse my language, I know you don't like cussing. All those things you guys like to tell. And then we can segue that too. So do you support reparations? And we can talk about the origins of the Republican Party, the radical Republicans, and how they were true patriots. And if you're not on that tip, you're not a patriot. You're not a real American. And we can segue that to who is the real American. What group of people have consistently exemplified what it means to a person to stand up for liberty, truth, justice, and all that good stuff. And we all know who that group of people are and who will always be. And I land. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me give a shout out to Heezy. Thank you for the contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get to we got Black Majority State. We got Trouble. We got Black Pressure. So hold on, before we get to you, do any of the co-hosts, do Rella, do DJ, do you guys got something you want to say real quick too before we get to the speakers again?
Ladies first.
I want to be just real quick because I know I'm not going to be long with it. I just say this, we heard a lot of passionate speakers talk about, their representation and how they want to be identified. And that is exactly the same thing that us as Black Americans, descendants, have been talking, I think, within the last few years, how we want to be represented, respected, and identified, especially as Americans. And so when you listen to people in their conversation, I don't think it's that they don't know what colonization is. I think they don't know how to internalize, process, and express it without turning into a full-fledged detractor in white supremacy. So, that's why I think the young lady was able to lose her mind the way she was in her mind. The tribal culture comes out, and it seems as if, we're getting the brunt of it while others are able to come and benefit off of the resources and the love and the acceptance in a community. And people like to minimize the things that America has done. I mean, good and bad, but the good part is, Minnesota has a large population, even to the point where an entire flag, the United States' entire flag of literally a state, is representing people from another country in America. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that. In America. Okay? And no one has batted an eye. Not the federal government, not other state governments. So we have a real problem. And so when people come in and try to tell us, and I agree with Black Pressure, they're in trouble. Like, I'm sorry, you do not get to come in and slap the hand that you're asking for support from and then turn around and try to call us out our name. No, that is not what's happening here. No more. We're not doing it. So I'm trying to keep it PG, Newstoter. So I'm using my professional voice. Anyway, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Miss Rella. DJ, you want to go ahead and say something before we get to the speakers? Before I get to you, DJ, let me give a shout out to Hazardous Media and Ariza Thigpen Jr. for their contribution on Cash App. You there, DJ?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, Rella, if you swear, hit the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all cussing up here, hit the Cash App. You know what I mean? AKA the swear jar. You know what I mean? Stay blessed. Stay blessed. But yeah, everybody here know all cylinders. Ain't no need for me to speak. Let's continue.
All right. Black majority state, you got it. I see my girl Rerod down there. Rerod, you don't come back up here and speak no more? What's up? What's up with you?
Okay. So someone earlier talked about demographics, alluding to the fact that they're only 1%. But I want to say this. So when Kanye West put on that red hat and was at the White House sitting down with Trump, he did multiple things. He talked about prison reform, in which actually the outcome of that is that Black Americans were released from prison through presidential pardons. He also was specifically focused on a Chicago legend who he aligns himself with, who was a leader in the community as far as they are concerned. He also talked about reparations during that conversation, but because white, racist, liberal media wants to paint Black American men as morons or as if we are just bumbling idiots and we don't know what is going on or we can't have high-level political conversations, that's the message that everybody got, because they didn't take the time to actually listen to what he was saying. They just looked at the photo op and ran with it. So I want to get that out there. Kanye West, Black American man, has the right to have a conversation with Donald Trump or anybody else who is in the White House. As far as this demographic issue in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 40% of the Black Americans, this is why delineation is so important, are Africans or Caribbeans. The Somali population has gone from 10,000 to 20,000, 30,000 to 50,000. Now it's nearly 90,000. This is demographic displacement and erasement. That cannot be argued because they are literally pushing Black Americans out of this city and likely out of the state. They are taking away their jobs, their economic opportunities, they're taking away their political opportunities, and they're taking away their educational opportunities. There was just a woman who was elected as mayor of a town in Minnesota, a Somali. There were 3 women who were elected to state government who are Somalis in Minnesota, as well as a guy who was elected to state government. This is a political takeover. And if we don't look at it as such, and we don't understand it for what it is, then 10 years down the road, we're going to be wondering, well, what the hell happened in Minnesota and Minneapolis? Why aren't any Black Americans there? It's all Somalis and all these other people. And she is at the center of it. She is at the heart of it. I would assume that she is financially facilitating this migration in some way, shape, or form. And then the other thing, which I talked about earlier, was the crime. So let me go into this crime situation. And this has been going on for a while. There have been news reports about it. I'm not from there. The nickname they gave to Minneapolis is Little Mogadishu. Little Mogadishu, Black Hawk down, except for its Black Americans down. Gangs, Somali outlaws, Somali mafia, hot boys, Mari Haban with attitude. And this has been going on. So if they are shooting at each other, They are involved in sex trafficking and a whole lot, drug dealing and all these other crimes, and these are documented crimes. Then who's to say that Black Americans aren't victims of this violence by these foreign people? It's one thing if Americans are in their communities, they've been here historically, and they have issues with each other on American soil. It's a completely different thing if foreigners are coming in, violently taking over streets, violently taking over political positions, controlling the money, controlling the legislation, and this is likely why that flag, which was, and then I got a shout out to the MAGA folks for it because they pointed it out. I posted about it months ago. They saw it, they highlighted, we talked about it, and they made sure that there was pressure put on them to change it away from what was an identical flag to not just Somali, but the Somali clan that Ilhan Omar represents. It is very, very important for us to understand who these people are, what they got going on over there, how it affects us here, especially if they're coming in these massive large numbers, because out of the 400,000 or so Black Americans there, our numbers are dwindling. And because we're not disaggregating the data, we don't even know if we're actually dying off or if, I mean, because the population is growing by 36-40% Black American, but that's because they are included in the numbers. So I'm going to just end on that. It's not that they're 1% of the population. That's total malarkey. And we got to really figure this out.
All right. Thank you, Black Majority State. Let me give a shout out to my girl, Valerie. Valerie, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. We got a couple new speakers up here. Let me go ahead and get to the new speakers. Half so, I'm going to get to you, Robert. Half so, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to be clear on Ilhan's. So the message, it was translated wrong.
Did you leave the space and call us out our names when you left the space?
Huh?
When you left the space, you called the entire room a bunch of niggers. I heard you.
Yeah, that was half so. Rilla, that was half so.
I know. That's what I'm asking. You see, people who come back sometimes have some sort of guilt, or you just want to be heard. If you cannot be honest about your language that you use, I'm not going to allow you to stay in the space with me.
Wait, hold on. This was the same one that was talking earlier?
Yes. I never said that. I never called you niggers. I'm Black too. Why'd I say that?
Yes, you did.
So you just said it again, and then okay. So this is my issue. This is my issue. I'm gonna say this, and Newstoter, you make your decision because it's your space, and I'm gonna respect it.
Yeah, actually, Rella, let me hear what she's got to say. Let me hear what nonsense she's got to say.
Wait just a minute. I'm almost 70 years old. And what I'm not going to do is enjoy my time being up in the Newstoter space and hear somebody, I don't give a fuck where they come from, holler the word nigger. I'm not having it. I fought too long on this land for that to happen.
I think we deserve
control her mouth. She don't need to be here. And she already proved she can't control her mouth because you said she couldn't do it, Rella. So why is she here again?
Hey, you little dyke, shut the hell up.
Why is she here?
All right, she just got removed because I didn't hit a nigga part, but I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was the same one that came back in here.
Y'all got to understand, some of us ain't going for that. We can't do it. I ain't never did it. And I'm not going to do it now.
And
I'm not going to leave your space, Newstoter, because I was here first. How about that?
And I just want to apologize to the room because, listen, and it's not I'm apologizing for her. I'm apologizing for the simple fact of my patience. I'm trying to really be copacetic, but my patience for that type of behavior, I don't have it. And the young boy that came up here, or the young man that came up here to speak and started saying how they can't seem to take us having a conversation about the facts, and Black majority is right. we have to start disaggregating a lot of this data of information on how we are being harmed by immigration. And people who come from other countries need to start also facing the fact of how they harm our communities in the sense of how they're showing up in our communities. They are literally attacking Black Americans from different immigrant groups. It's not just the Somalian group that's growing in population. The Latino groups all over the country are attacking Black American communities and pushing people out, even people who can't even defend themselves. So when we have these conversations and we're talking about things that impact us as Americans, immigration is one of these things, and this is how we need to talk about it, because you have people, who will come on stage who represent Narcan and Cobra or used to be, and they will start to try to derail the conversation and try to say, oh, well, you can't deny other Black people, and I'm a Pan-African. Listen, I have no clear-cut card. When you start coming up here trying to erase the experiences of the descendant community just so that you can tell other groups that you are not against them. Because our conversation is not being against these people. Our conversation is a reflection of how we are being treated in our country. And the things that we are seeing are happening to ourselves in real time. And if people cannot take that type of conversation, then they should not be able to be allowed in our space. If they're going to call us out our names, use the same trope that put our ancestors in trees in the United States while they enjoy the fruits and the benefits of being here unshackled. No, not on my watch, and not on yours.
All right, let me go ahead and get to let me get to Rerod. Rerod, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. Peace and blessings to the room. Co-host, how y'all doing? Yes, taxation. Yes, no taxation. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. I wanted to talk about the lady. What's her name? Ilhan Omar. It's just really weird that a couple of weeks ago, there was like a riot at a school, I believe, between Black Americans and Somalis, to the point to where the Black Americans had to call their families to come up to the school. And so 2 weeks later, she jumps on TV and she's like, I'm going to do for the Somali community and all of them. Like, it's kind of like a slap in the face for me, because she could have came out and said, hey, that situation at the school will never happen again. There's just like no unity with these people. There is no compromise with these people. They are here to replace us. They are here to do what they have to do, and that is just it. That's it. We can have these conversations over and over again, but at the end of every single conversation, all I hear is they're unified. Why can't we be? All I hear is they're unified. I talk about this all the time. Unity. Unity could change our community overnight. Unity. All right? Black majority talks about it all the time. These people are coming from other countries and doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. Okay? Black majority's been saying this stuff for about a year. I've known Black majority for about a year now. And now I'm witnessing people coming from other countries enacting that plan and it being successful. Why we ain't in Delaware yet? What's going on? Are we completely out? Like, what's going on? What happened? You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my husband about it earlier and I was like, it seems like maybe we are a little bit too into it, like into this whole America thing. Like, foreigners come from over there and they don't want to come and work for nobody. They come and they want to get their own stuff together. You know what I'm saying? We need to get our own things, period. Because if that can happen in a 2-week time span, then we can do this within 5 years. And really, really be on something different and really make a change in our communities. But this talking to them and trying to figure out, they never, ever say anything nice. They never say anything kind. They never come up with their hands in the air like, hey, I'm just I'm cool. No, they come in with vitriol, hatred, and then they try to reverse psychology us. Like we haven't seen them be disrespectful to us for all these years. I don't know. I just think that we just need to. I'm coming to Delaware, Black majority. Okay, enough is enough. All right, this is. We could have ended this. We had towns that they bombed and flooded. I feel like America maybe now is a little bit more evolved and they wouldn't do something like that. I mean, they might poison our water or something, but we have the ability to fix that. I don't think they'll come and bomb our stuff, though. I don't know, but I think it's time, because if everybody else can have their own community, then we need to have ours. People keep on saying the Black community. Where is it? Where is it? Because if I knew where it was, I would go to it. Where is it? Where's the Black community? That's where I want to be. And I'll land. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. Peace and blessings and reparations.
All right. Let me go ahead and thank you, Rerod. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic. And then I didn't see the Black Vanguard. I'll get to you too since you're a new speaker. Go ahead, Trouble.
Hey, so Brother Shay, that brother came on and pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. He said it in a much more elegant way. In reference to the young man who felt disrespected. And then Stephanie came through, followed up, and added on to it. And then Rella came back and set it afire again with the final touches. So I don't really have a whole lot to add. I'll summarize it in my own words. Because what I wanted to say to the young brother is that it is never our intentions to make anybody feel like they are less than or that we hate them so much. It's not about hate at this point. At this point, we are in a motion for self-preservation, just like everybody else is. Because for so long, we've held that Pan-Africanist view to where we wanted all blacks to succeed. And if that wasn't the case, our freedom fighters of the past wouldn't have fought for the immigration to get you all over here. But as it has been stated, you all came here and did something completely different. You rolled with the white crew. But what we didn't know at the time is how tribal you was on your own lands, and that you didn't even respect other people who looked like you from different countries on your own land. America knew how tribal you was, and they essentially used that tribalism against us because they brought you here knowing that you wouldn't have our best interests at heart like we thought you would. They knew what we didn't know at the time, but now we're starting to figure it out. So when you say that you are hurt because you feel as if you've been disrespected, understand that for a very long time, Black Americans, we have been disrespected. We have been disrespected by all of America's pets, their proxies, their color allegiances, their foreign blacks who they brought here to pit against us in every single way possible. You all have done master's bidding diligently. You've executed it to a T. Congratulations to you. You understood the assignment. And it might be too late. Then again, I doubt it's too late, but we're just now getting clued in, and we are fed up with the disrespect. But as always, when we Black Americans finally express how it is that we are feeling, we are the only group who everybody rushes to chastise. We get the chastisement even from some of our own movements, our own people, who want to pretend that what we're seeing and expressing is not the reality that we have all lived. Because they haven't lived there, because they have other allegiances in their bed, in their life, in their families, in their whatever, so they want to stay blind to it because it allows them, as long as you're staying blind to it, you can feed into this American cream, the American dream. Because you still erroneously feels like it applies to you. Just like you all do. You all think that it applies to you. It doesn't. It doesn't. It was meant for one group. And one group only. And it's always going to only apply to that one group. But we've seen that centuries ago, and you all have to learn that. You have to get that wake-up call. You have to get that literal foot in the bunkie in order to understand what it is that we have already known and always known. And so when you say that you are hurt by the things that we say, I need you to quickly get over the things that you're feeling hurt by what we say, because we are hurt by your actions, which is bigger than the words that we say. Actions, darling. It speaks louder than words. It cuts deeper than words. So don't come here and tell us about how painful it is for you to hear us Black Americans speak this particular way. Because to me, what that says is that you expect us to continue to take the abuse. You expect us to continue to take the harm that you caused us, knowing damn well that you came here to cause us harm by solely making sure your people and only your people are getting the set-asides and benefits that belong to us. I don't want to hear how painful you feel at some words, darling. I don't. Because your actions, it is your actions, and you know it is your actions. And you say, if you, Master have taught you well with the white woman tears, because y'all come with the tear work and the, you know, oh, I'm so hurt by what you all just said, and I can't believe you're slandering all Somalis. It's never an all situation. We understand that there are certain allies within each group. There are certain people who don't feel the way that the whole collective does that are allies to us. But it is the majority of you all who basically we're addressing when you come into these spaces who are speaking in a particular manner. You're trying to gaslight us. Don't do that. Now, I know you, Master, told you that, you know, us Negroes were lazy-minded and we weren't, you know, I do this and I do that. We're so smart. We catch on. You all are trying to handle us in a manner that we've seen before, and we're calling it out, and we're going to continue to call it out. We're at a point now where it's self-preservation, and we need to just solely take care of us. We're not looking for other groups. We're not looking at other groups. We're not trying to help any other group. We're trying to make sure our people, our Black American people, minus the bootlicks, are starting to get ahead. And you all have a problem with that because you were sent here to derail that. And so it makes you feel as if you're not doing your job if you are not derailing our allegiance to each other by keeping you all at the forefront of our minds when we're trying to make sure all Blacks get something. Because you're not doing your job if we start focusing on ourselves and make sure just the American Blacks are getting something. I need y'all to keep it moving. Need you to move to the side, and if you don't want to move to the side, that's fine, because we are slowly, collectively getting to the point where we are going to move you to the side. So move or be moved, because we have all had it up to here. And I land my plane.
All right, thank you, Trouble. I gotta say something about that troll that was in the space, because I'm gonna be honest, I did not hear her say something, but I'm gonna let everybody know for future reference. When I say that I want somebody to speak, because I was gonna get to the bottom of it, I didn't hear her, and I went ahead and kicked out the space, and I think we kicked out the space the first time. I know how to handle people. I know how to dissect them as well too. I was gonna let her get right up on this stage and say what she had to say as well too, because I didn't even know that was the same person again. I forgot that was even the same person, because I went ahead and approved them to speak. So I didn't even know that they say, oh, that was who it was. But for future reference, I can go ahead and I can handle it. I don't care if you're a female or you're a male. If you sit up in this space and you pop off, you will get checked. And because you have a kitty cat or whatever, don't mean that you're above getting checked. So please, for future reference, because I was going to go ahead and say exactly what she had to say, and I was going to put her in a damn place. So I don't need anybody to come off their mics and tell me what to do. Respectfully, let that person, when I say I got it, that's what I mean. I got it. She was going to get checked. I was going to find out, because like I say, I didn't hear her say nigga, but I sure was going to find out if she said it or not, and was going to put it in her little place. So like I did before when she got upset and she started to pop off and she left the space. So next time, for future reference, y'all, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. I will go ahead and straighten it out. So y'all just chill and sit back, relax. When I say I got it, that's what I mean. I got it. Don't come off your mic. Let me handle the situation in this space. I will go ahead and I'll put that person in their right place. Either if I can't put them in their place, I'm going to just kick them out. But we got it up in here. We don't need anybody to come off their mic. I'm just letting everybody know for future reference because I wanted to hear exactly what she had to say so I could have taken her apart piece by piece. Next time, let me go ahead and do that because she came back in this space because she was butthurt because she got dealt with the first time and she's going to get dealt with again. I'm from Florida. I grew up with all kind of rednecks dropping the N-bombs left and right. Grew up with some Negroes that dropped the N-bombs left and right that thought they was white as well too. Never had an issue putting them in their damn place right here. I'm from one of the biggest redneck states in the entire country. So I know trailer trash. I know Uncle Tom's and Sambo's as well too. Next time when I say I got it, let that person, I want that person to speak. I don't want anybody to interact. I want to hear exactly what this person's got to say so I can break them down. Like I say, you're not going to hide behind your sexuality either and sit up here and talk about you a female and this and that or whatever. If you're big enough to pop off like that, you're big enough to get your ass put in your place. Let me go ahead and get to I'm not sure. I think it's Black Pressure. Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
So, I know that unity got brought up a couple of minutes ago, and that's one of the reasons that I think Pan-Africanism is a fairy tale because, and like I say, I rock with Black Majority, I rock with Rerun, I rock with both of them. I'm open to criticism. Most of the stuff I laugh off anyway, but like when we talk about unity, like amongst Black people, it would be hard pressed if we go back as far as recorded history. You're just not gonna find that amongst Black people. That the Nubians hated the Egyptians, the Carthaginians hated the Libya, the Israelites hated the Philistines. You just, as far back as you can go, you're not gonna find unity amongst all people groups in Africa. It never happened, and it won't happen. But I'll move on to my second point right here. I'm gonna say it again. The people, the Somalians come in here, and the first thing they do is they feel like Black Americans need some kind of history lesson about oppression, and you guys don't understand, and let me tell you about genocide and this regime that did this and this regime that did this. And like I said yesterday, going back to Pan-Africanism, Malcolm X found out the hard way that shit was a fairy tale when he went to Africa and he got with those African leaders and tried to form an alliance. Like I said yesterday, people told him to kiss his ass, and he found out the hard way. But going back to this side of the world, right? I need news. DJ, Rilla, Ray, y'all back me up on this. I think we're about all in the same age group. I think there's some people that's in here right now that were in here yesterday when I brought up the point about how when Black people were going through our horrors and atrocities in America, you didn't hear from anybody from Somaliland or from Somalia. You didn't hear. They didn't take to their print media. They didn't take to their electronic media. They didn't cross the water to support it. You didn't hear any of that. But I can say this, and somebody in the room yesterday that's in here right now said, well, the Africans, they had their own problems, and how do you expect them to support you? But you know what's funny, News? Check this out. And News, if I'm lying, feel free to jump in. In the late 80s and early 90s, right? Black people dedicated an art form that we had created to support Africa. In the late 80s and the early 90s, you had the X-Clan, to the east, my brother. You had Public Enemy, Fight the Power. You had Stethosonic, AFR, ICA. It's amazing that all the things that we were going through in America, Black people still beat the drum with the continent of Africa. But like a nigga can't walk and chew gum. You could go to the Yeah. You could go to the Sun City, South Africa.
You had Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder come up with "We Are the World" for East Africa and Ethiopia.
I forgot about that. Thank you, my brother.
Anniversary, the
40th anniversary of that song.
I forgot about that. But you got the Sun City Resort.
Robinson in Trans Africa.
Sure. Thank you, brother. I forgot about both of those. But you had the Sun City Resort in South Africa. They wanted to throw that big concert. Guess who came to the rescue? Black Americans. You had Run DMC, Africa Bombada, Curtis Blow, George Clinton. They said, we're not playing in Sun City because you're treating Africans like this. And like Tariq said, and I'm going to steal this from Tariq, you talk about a people standing up for a continent. We hadn't seen Africa in 400 years, but we still beat the drum for Africa. You can go to 1934 when Italy attacked Ethiopia. Guess who came to the rescue? You guessed it. Black America. We crossed the water to come fight with a people. Once again, still in the line from Tariq. We hadn't seen that continent in 400 years. We crossed the water to come help them people fight. Also, you look like Trouble kind of touched on it. You look at the Immigration Act of 1924. America said they better not catch a nigga from Africa. They better not catch nobody Hispanic. They better not catch a Western European, a Caribbean. They better not catch anybody trying to come to the shores of America. Guess who came to the rescue? You guessed it. Black people died in the street, like Trouble said, for these Negroes to come out here and disrespect us. But it's funny. Like the young lady said yesterday, we couldn't expect Africans to stand up for us because they were going through their own troubles. What troubles were black people going through in 1934? What troubles were black people going through in the 1960s, in the 1920s? And you telling me they couldn't walk and chew gum like we could? I'll mute up and listen.
All right. Thank you, Pressure. Thank you. Let me go ahead and get to the Black Vanguard. I know you up here. Black Vanguard, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I would say is that we don't need these stinking Africans here. That we done fight for them. I tell my people is that all this stuff going on in Africa, just leave them Africans alone because
Hey, Black Vanguard, let's not call them names now, but go ahead.
Yeah, just like the brother said, sister said, we always stood for Africans though. They never stood for us though. See, I've been to Africa, I've been in 10 different countries though. I try to help these ungrateful Africans that come out here and they very disrespectful. See, it was us that fought for them during the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And they slapped us in the face, showing us all the disrespect. Like Uncle John's family, after Black Americans fought for Uncle John's family to get justice, after he got some compensation, some money, they ended up opening up a Caribbean scholarship for Caribbean people. That was the total disrespect, the slap in the face for a foundation of Black Americans, for our people. So we started saying that. We started saying that we ain't fighting for the Caribbeans after whatever it goes on. In Africa, Caribbean, with these other groups, we ain't fighting for no more. That's what the migrant crisis going on with the Texas border. They wanted us to support that. If we said no, we ain't supporting that no more. That's why they end up shutting the border down. Same thing was going on out there in with the Haitians came to Texas though. They was trying to start first route. She was actually she's a Jamaican. She went down to the border trying to get the Black grassroots rally behind the Haitians, and we didn't stood by them, so they deported all the Haitians up out of here a few days ago. So I would say is that we don't need these African Caribbeans here. They don't add no value to our community. We can do if our ancestors, we fought. We didn't have these Caribbeans, the Africans in our community. We could fight against Jim Crow or the tech or the red line and all these other issues that go on with our community. We don't need them though. We can go ourselves. And also is that I would say that we should utilize, I'm not a Republican, because both the Democrats and Republicans are the same though, but I would say if when Trump get back in there, it look like he gonna get back in there. When he get back in there, we should utilize the Trump administration to get these ungrateful Caribbeans and Africans up out of our community, just like the Hispanics up out of our community, because they been a detriment to our community since they came over here. Then I'm gonna speak to this Somali woman, Omar. Yeah, we already know that though. Somalians though, a lot of people realize that Somalia is a country, it's a war-torn third world country though. You got the El Shabaab, then you got the clans out there, you got the Fars, the Icicle tribe, the clans over there. So the Somalis, they go at it amongst themselves over there in their country. Then a lot of people don't know that the Africans, they've been tribalistic over there in their countries. They don't see their own neighboring tribe over there fighting for each other for hundreds and thousands of years right before the Arabs and the Europeans came and conquered that land. So the white supremacists here in America, they understood how tribalistic the Africans are, that they didn't get along with each other back in Africa where they come from. They got tribalistic genocide, they got barbarianism mentality from where they come from. So I'm glad that we stand on Lynch things. We should have done that a long time ago, because that shows proof, though, too, is that we all need to sign a petition or something like that and get Omar out of Congress, though, so he can get a recall, though. But it was another incident out there. You can see Omar, this ain't nothing about where the Somalis were attacking Black Americans, calling them Jareers and stuff. You didn't see the Somali come. You didn't see Omar saying nothing about it, because he was quiet like a church mouse on that. So I would say is that we need to make sure we get these Caribbeans and Africans in our community by having ICE and having them deported. That's all I got to say for now.
All right. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to.
Can I ask a quick question?
Who's speaking?
My phone went out. What did Black say that Black Vanguard say went to Africa and got his butt handed to him? Who was that?
Say what now?
No, I said no. I said that I went to like 10 different countries in Africa. I was in military.
No, you mentioned somebody. You were talking about Pan-Africanism, and you said somebody went to Africa.
That was me, Black Pressure. I said Malcolm X went to Africa. He met with different African leaders, tried to form an alliance because Malcolm X was a Pan-Africanist. They told him to kiss his ass. If you want me to post it, I will post it. I have the literature. I'll give it to DJ. He'll post it and you can read it yourself.
Yeah, please.
And also, it was this Black Panther. I also want to share a story, though, too. It was Black Panther, two Black Panther sisters that out of Detroit, that freedom fighters, though. I know y'all heard a story out of Ghana. She believed in that Pan-Africanism too. So I'm a Black Panther too. I used to be in that, believing that Pan-Africanism stuff. I realized that's nothing but a fairy tale. Kind of all-star folks are people here in America. So it was the two Black Panther sisters out of Detroit that went to from Detroit that went to Ghana. They trying to settle in Ghana because they believe that whole year return, all that type of bull crap that went on. So what they did is that they went to Ghana and bought some property land. It was the tribal chief over there was saying that this is our land, and then she showed them the deed to the land, and then the tribal chief over there took her to the Supreme Court over there in Ghana. Then they won, and then a few days later, she got found out dead. And the tribal chief, I don't know what tribe was it though. So yeah, the Africans though, we not welcome one over here. You go most of these African countries, like the Gambia was a sister, a Black American sister from the Gambia embassy or something like that. The U.S. ambassador to Gambia is a Black American sister. Spoke the truth about what goes on in Gambia, how they trying to get Black Americans up out the Gambia. Same thing in Ghana too as well.
Black Vanguard, let me because we're not gonna keep the space open too much longer. We're gonna get
DJ. Just tell DJ to check his DM.
Okay, DJ, check your DM. But go ahead. I believe I'm not sure if it was. We're gonna get to the last few hands up here. Stephanie, Rera, and Streets, and then we're gonna get ready to close it out. But Stephanie, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. I just want to say this right quick. Following back off of what Black Pressure just said, there were two recent videos that a couple of people have done. I believe that they are of Gambian descent. They said that the people are angry because their land is being sold to Black Americans, and that Black Americans is taking over their country, and they want them to leave. There were two videos, and it caused the stir on the internet within our community and, of course, over into the continent. So I wanted to bring that up as well. One was a man, the first video, and the other one was a female. But what we understand with that is that some crooked people over there is they're legally selling land to Black Americans, and they're going over there and not knowing that the land was actually sold under the people that actually owned it. So, it's just basically they're buying stolen land and they don't realize it. So I guess that's, as it unfolds, they'll start to understand a little bit more. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. And the second thing that I wanted to say is that And all the power that Ilhan had, right? She could have. There was a video that came out a few months ago, and they went to a strictly Somali community. I don't know if it was in Minnesota or another state, but it was predominantly Somalis. Okay, and they interviewed them, and they said, "Where would you be happiest at?" And every last person that was interviewed in that video said, "I would be happiest in my country, Somalia." Now, of course, most of them was most likely born here because of, refugee status. But every last one of them said that they would be happiest home. Now, my thing is, I'm sure that her people have brought that to her attention. How come she didn't lobby before Congress and say that she would like to repatriate her people, but she wanted to be on a safe, repatriation back home? She could have worked out a deal with, they could have worked out a deal with the UN and the government officials in Somalia to repatriate a lot of these people, so that way they can be where they're happiest at and live under their traditions and their culture and God knows whatever else. I mean, we wouldn't be having these situations if they want to go home so bad. Then how come they don't, force her to lobby for them to be repatriated back home? That's the question that I have. But thank you for letting me speak. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We got a new speaker up here. This is going to be the last new speaker. I'm going to get to the other couple hands, and then we closing this out for the night. Halida, go ahead and unmute your mic. Yeah, are you there? No, I can't. Do you got a headset on or something?
Bluetooth. Let's see if it works now. How about now?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, I just want to say real quick, my name is Dawi. I go for Halera. Thank you for letting me up. I'm Ethiopian and of course in the state. I just want to quickly ask the Malcolm X thing that you mentioned. Someone, if I can have that, is there? My DMs are open, or if you can post it, I just want to read about it because it's surprising. So that's the reason I want to come up and I'm interested in conversation.
Who's speaking?
I'll
follow him and send it to him.
That's Halida speaking.
I'll send it to him.
I'd like to say, this is Brother Trey, because I know Malcolm X was received like a dignitary in all the countries he went to, and he came back talking about how well he was received and how he was looking forward to going back and telling our people how much Africa loves him. So I don't know what the hell this is.
Malcolm X was a tourist. Of course you'd be received well. They want your money. It's like if I go to any other country in the world, they ain't gonna say F you, nigga. They gonna treat me like a king because they taking my money.
He's treated like a diplomat. And
that's fine. You know what the Africans told us? We can't do nothing for you. The Africans told us we can't do nothing for you.
Whether he was a tourist or a diplomat, he still was not disrespected.
It doesn't matter. The Africans said, we can't help you, sir. That's what they told me.
Let me ask you quickly, what's like Africans, 54 countries.
Here we go.
I just want to say, like, as an Ethiopian, I can speak for myself.
Well, Ethiopia, I've been in Ethiopia, they're very tribalistic over there. They actually going against the Jamaicans over there, and it's Somali over there, the Romos over there. So the Ethiopians are very tribalistic over there too. You got the Romos and the Hemarks fighting against each other. There's a whole civil war going on in Ethiopia between the Tigrays and the Romos versus the Hemar people. So, yeah.
That's our internal issues, and I appreciate you raised up that. And that's internal, and it's been resolved. I'm myself from African in Ethiopian, and I'm definitely a Rasta man. When the King of Kings conquering the line of Judas, I And those Jamaicans, we fight for it. We ask for it. They've been removed from certain area and put up in a better place, and they've got such a treatment in our land. They walk barefoot because they think that's safe. They think that Ethiopia is their home, okay? And we don't disseminate or disrespect our brothers. And we give down about Africa.
Okay. Well, thank you, Haleda. Thank you. We gonna move on.
Let me just have that paper.
Well, hold on real quick. Hold on real quick. Who's speaking?
This is Brother Che.
Okay, Brother Che, you got to go real quick because we get. Hold on, Brother Che, because we've been going since 8, so we're gonna get ready to close this space out in a second.
I was just gonna say, when Malcolm X went to Africa, it was 1965. A lot of those countries were not decolonized. They could not have helped him.
Malcolm X made 4 trips, not one. So again, Newstoter just said we gotta go to the other hand. DJ, if you are going to open another space, we can dialogue about that. But I definitely want to keep the flow of the room so Newstoter can go ahead and close it.
Yeah, because we're gonna be closing this out. Let me go ahead and get to Re-Raw. We'll get the streets and we'll get the Black majority state. We no more new speakers coming up because I'm trying to get this space closed. But go ahead, Re-Raw.
Oh, thank you for allowing me up again, Newstoter. I just wanted to say I heard what Black Pressure said, and it was really overwhelming, but I heard you. I heard you loud and clear, but maybe it's different now. We're in a different time. Unity is possible. If other people can come to our country because it's so great and unify and carve out a place for them, I believe this is the generation. We're those people. We can do it. I'll never say that unity is impossible because really, if we've never done it, then it's the only thing that we really need to accomplish at this point. We got to do some shit we never did. Oh, I'm sorry. We have to do some stuff we've never done. And so I'll land with that. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Rella, everybody, love y'all. Peace and blessings.
Peace. Thank you, Re-Raw. Let me go ahead and get to streets, and then we're going to get the Black majority state, then we're going to close it out for the night.
Hey, y'all. This is Providence in this conversation. And I'll tell you, Stephanie, I'm speaking directly to her, and she brought up a point that I don't want y'all to miss. She said that Somalis expressed that they want to be back in their home country. Now, those are the rank and file Somalians. Let's talk about people like Ilhan Omar. If you guys, and Re-Rock woke up something really good that kind of got glossed over, and this is not the space for that. I hope Black actually does a topic on this. What would it look like if Ilhan Omar and her ilk actually had the aim of having a Somali majority state? Now that ties into, in America, that ties into Stephanie's question. If they were wise, and she seems to be very shrewd, very intelligent, very politically savvy. Now, go by the speech she talked about how getting America to bend to their will, do what they need to do. If they achieve a Black majority state, they will very well be able to do that. And I think she knows that. Now, I'm going to dig more and more into their goings there. Not because of anything hateful, but because, like a warrior or a person who's an athlete, you like to study the opposition. And you want to know what they're doing. What does Sun Tzu say? Know your enemy. And once you know your enemy, I don't know all that. But anyway, so we should have a larger conversation about their aims. I'm almost willing to put money on the fact that as shrewd as she is and the people surrounding her, her advisors, her team, her people, that's their aim. Because understand this, if she achieves the power of state authority that America gives, the power they have to control that, they have enough Somalis in that state, they'll have far more power than the whole country of Somalia put together. Larger GDP, the military might of having a state authority. You can have a Navy, you can have an Army, you can have an Air Force, and you'll have the backing of the United States. So it might actually be in the interest of the United States to do that, because they can have further control over the African continent through what will be done through a Somali-dominated majority state. You really have to understand the power of the state to understand what I'm talking about. And I don't see the United States actually stopping them from doing that, because constitutionally and legally, it's nothing they can do. If these people who come here to actually naturalize, become citizens, there's nothing they can do about that. Of them exercising the authority and power of having the state power behind them. And I land.
All right. Thank you, brother. Go ahead and get the black majority state, then we're going to get ready to close this out for the night.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Black Pressure, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. We do address that whole unity issue, and we understand that we're never going to have 100% unity. It's unnatural to even have that as a goal, because, as you stated, historically, it's never happened, and it's likely never to happen. However, it only takes 3% of a population to change the political mindset of the whole. It only takes 10% of the population to actually move the whole population. And so with those numbers, we understand that we're just looking for 1% to move to Delaware. We're looking for another 1% to 2% to move to Mississippi. We're not talking about 100% of our population. We're talking about the ones who are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'll give you a group of us that have decided to politically unify themselves. Black Democrats. They have over 13 million Black American Democrats registered to that party. And if they can do that, then we can do something very, very similar to make this happen for our people. So I'll land on that.
Hey, Black majority, let me just give me 20 seconds. Let me concede to you. You were right. Right? Let me just explain to you what I was saying. Once again, you are correct. I believe in everything you say. What I was speaking of, like you said, the total unity of that complete continent. That's what I was. I believe in people groups can be unified, but like I was saying, a continent from top to bottom. That's what I was saying. It's never happened. I'll mute up.
All right. Thank you. Pressure. We'll get ready. We're going to close this space out for the night. DJ, Relly, y'all want to say something real quick before we go ahead and close it out?
What did you say? Okay, let me.
I'm in my mind.
Okay. Newstoter, thank you for the space. I know a lot of times these topics are not easy. I wanted to just show appreciation to even, the American Black descendants, freedmen family, Negro family, ADOS, FBA, all of you all that showed up, to the Somalian families in here represented from the different tribal groups. Again, we appreciate you showing up and having a dialogue with us. For those who definitely came in level-headed and wanted to really have a conversation, thank you for the other group of people who also showed up to listen. We are a real people, and we are here, and we are not going anywhere. Our bloodlines are definitely strong, and we need you to understand your impact that you have on the world when you migrate around or immigrate around into the country. It's not always a one-sided thing, and also the perception and language might be different, and that is something I'm noticing, that how others actually receive our information and knowledge, it seems to be new to them. And so, as Trouble said, it might get you, it hurts, but it is not intended to maim or harm. It is for you to wake up to the realization that there are other things that are going around environments that you are coming into. And so, with that being said, I appreciate it. So thank you for allowing me to co-host, and DJ for being co-host. And peace, love, and remember to be great on purpose. That's what we were born to do.
Hey, look, we got the Somalian chick over there on YouTube leaving comments. This is what she says: "You are unfair host. You're jealous of us Somalis being successful in America. All African Americans are known for its gun violence and gang. You are jealous of how we're taking over Minnesota. Keep crying and stay mad. We will keep going. Okay, okay. You are whining about America, yet you're living over here in America. So make that make sense. Okay."
That's on the live feed.
Yeah. She's over there right now. So she left. She got upset because she got upset because she got kicked up out of the space, and then now she's over there crying on YouTube. So okay, whatever. But anyways.
News, I don't know what nigga would want to live in Antarctica. Nobody want to go to Minnesota. Who the fuck want to stay out there?
Anyway, y'all been dropping a lot of F-bombs tonight, but nonetheless, let me go. Let me go. Queen Hafasa, whatever your name is, Musafa, whatever, go back home because you're not doing anything over here. You crying and you whining. So go back home. You over here eating off of America's plate. So you're a loser. There's nothing left to say. If you were all that, if you were trying to do something, you wouldn't be over here right now talking about how bad Americans are, this and that or whatever. So please shut your pie hole. But on that note, y'all, we're gonna.
Newstoter, I just want to say that I haven't been able to drop F-bombs in your space in a while. And because I haven't dropped any in a while and you let so many go tonight, I just want you to take a note.
Listen.
I got a couple of them. I got a free couple F-bombs. Just make sure you write that down. Trouble got.
I don't use. We got to pay bills.
I don't want to be sanctioned on that.
Yeah, it was quite a few of them tonight. I was trying to, it just came out of nowhere. So hopefully the next space, because we probably won't be holding one tomorrow. So hopefully when y'all come back in here, the F-bombs and the S-bombs and all that, we're going to try to keep it clean and keep the conversation flowing. But on that note, DJ's got a space getting ready to start up, guys. So we'll go ahead. Hold on real quick, y'all. Like, I keep getting cut off. What was that?
I say next space talk about Jesus, and you won't hear no language.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. The Holy Father in the next space, yeah, for sure. Bring your teacup and your biscuit and your holy blood. But hey,
I'm not playing with y'all.
But on that note, y'all, I'm gonna get ready. Yeah, on that note, I'm getting ready to close the space out. So peace, and we'll see y'all.
Come over to the next space so that way you can win the reparation DVD. We'll give you a consolation prize.